around the mic right upon the shoot. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right upon. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun down. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Shoot, seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right upon the shoot. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right upon the shoot. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right upon. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Shoot, seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right upon the shoot. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right upon the shoot. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right upon. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. The shoot, seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right upon the shoot. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right upon the shoot. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right upon. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun down. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling.
The attributes of the man that I deserve is a communicative man, understanding, patient, spiritual, and a leader.
But I think I kind of want to ask, can women even handle the rejection if they had to approach men?
I did. I handled it pretty well because I got rejected in the end. But if you are confident enough to go up to the man and approach him, then you should be confident enough to take the rejection. Yeah, so I definitely don't want to be rejected by no
Do
man.
women have game?
A lot of women actually do have game to the point where, because we don't put it out front and we don't let you know what we're doing, you don't see it.
Bro, do women have game?
Only certain women have game.
In states like Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, there can be successful all black communities around these racist ass white people.
Who's to say that the whites are racist in the first place? I don't think that you've experienced racism in your life.
If that's your opinion, we'll be able to be billionaires, have Maseratis, all this shit. I said that, right? What the fuck does that have to do with me really experiencing racism?
There's no woman on this earth more beautiful than a black woman.
Like, we come in different complexions, even our hair texture. I mean, like the bone structure, like that's just so like dope. Like, black people are just so dope, and we're like multifaceted. All the talents that we have, like nobody's better.
First, Tyler Perry can go eat a bag of them.
Women don't miss your blessing because he makes less than you.
You wouldn't date no man that could only pay the light bill? Everything else is perfect. He can only pay the light bill. You wouldn't date no man like that? All the ladies? Love, Dana, Q, none of y'all?
No.
And they should.
How difficult is it dating modern women?
I'm not going to say it's difficult. And you can take it how you want. But I don't think I've never had a problem getting women. It's about just finding the one that's, compatible to take it to that next level.
Do you have fuck nigga tendencies?
Absolutely. We all got them.
True or false? Your value is objective based on standards set by society. Intrinsic value only matters to you.
All right, so break that down. I'm a little slow.
Wow.
But if you know you dumb, then aren't you acknowledging that value isn't subjective?
But I'll say, for the most, I say no.
And I was gonna say that y'all ladies also need to understand that when y'all ask us to believe you or be on your side, I usually say this on my panels. I was a simp. All right, I went to a HBCU. That's a simp indoctrination zone.
Those that went there and those of us that graduated.
Right, like come
How
on.
did I disrespect HBCUs?
You gotta
No, you have to explain.
Wait. So
how
you
did I
got a
disrespect
degree.
HBCUs?
You went to a HBCU. You got a degree. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, I misspoke. Pretty much all colleges and universities are simp indoctrination zones because the women outnumber the men by at least 7 to 1.
So my thing is, with you feeling like you're not agreeable, is it because you haven't come across somebody that you can actually agree with that would be on the same page as you?
No, what I'm saying is I should be allowed to express my opinion.
So if he wanted to invest in something, which is like, say, a gamble, and it's your mortgage, would you agree with that?
That's why I said something that's not detrimental.
Oh, okay. So that would be detrimental. Okay.
Right. Could be missing a tooth. She's smiling at you. Even the lowest of the low whites.
Because she's high on meth. So let me ask you this question.
Well, hold on. Let me finish real quick. And this is another thing that white girls don't do. They don't cut me off.
Well, we're on a podcast, and we're going to talk. So we're not going to gas.
Let him finish. Let him
finish.
I just wanted some clarity on a few things, love. And we having our picnic. Spring is here, so we're gonna make that happen.
Like I said, B, I'll get back to you.
I want answers.
Other outside is human. She turn up her location. She must think I'm stupid. She wanna run the street, so let her hold, let her hold, let her hold. She doesn't show signs of stopping. So who am I to be cock blocking? I really hate to see you go. Let her hold, let her hold, let her hold.
Direction, choose your own path.
Don't just wear anything. Wear garments that mean something. We got hats. We got sweatshirts. We got jackets. We even got hoodies. Let's not forget our classic tees. Direction, choose your own path.
The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basically, pay attention, stay alert, and remember, choose your own path.
Direction, choose your own path.
You know, this is the home of We Major, Me Frosty, Unfamous, and the restricted clothing brands. Let's get it.
The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basically, pay attention, stay alert, and remember, choose your own path.
Unlock the future of branding while outpacing your competition. Dive into the digital realm, transforming raw footage into video epics. Our editors redefine storytelling. At Prime Your Logos, where pixels become portals. Prime Your Logos. Unleash the unseen. Your brand amplified. Visit us at Prime Your Logos on Instagram. Or call 704-792-6345. That's 704-792-6345. Prime your brand. Prime your logos, where artistry transcends reality.
Wow. Perfect.
Yo, we hit like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel to grow. What's poppin', man? I'm feeling better. I gotta get my voice back. You heard?
Perfect.
Get the likes up, man. We got 80 people in the building and we have 42 likes. Let's make the likes match the viewers, man.
Perfect. Shit like that.
Sherelle is late, but the show must go. I think this is uberly important to have this conversation because we hear these terms so much, man, and I want to get down to the nitty because the middle class, which I would argue could be named the forgotten class, oftentimes I don't know if we are voting or doing things in our best interest. We get caught up on the shit that we don't like or voting against people as opposed to what is the reason why we putting people in office. aside from the president and all that. You know what I mean? So man, we gotta talk about it. Get the likes up, get the likes up. Let me see who in the building, man. Mel, what up, my brother? You already know. D in the building was popping. Hope all is well. Bub, direction CYOP.com. I like it. Like, share, subscribe. B Sammy was goody. Miss Bell, salute. Chris, what up, my brother? Black King in the building. Curtis was good. Venus, I see you. Miss Jilly was popping. Make sure everybody speak to Miss Jilly. Sherelle, hurry up. Mr. Williams, salute. Almanage was good. I like it. Heather, salute. Shorty King in the building. Great T was popping, my brother. Hope all is well. Good to see you in the Discord. Rainbow Kid was goody, my boy. Cali was popping. Hit the like button, homeboy. Shalom. I hope all is well, man. Salute to you. Keep grinding. Asia, I see you. I like it, man. I like it. All my favorite people here so far. DC was shaking, my G. Tiff was good. Sada was popping. Let me see. Victim Atlantic, salute. Was popping. What Trigger Mike do? Belly was popping. Hope all is well, man. Welcome. Love C in the building. I like it, man. Let me see. Get the likes up. Word. Let me see. Travel One, salute. CC, happy Tuesday, of course. Bud was popping. Hope all is well. Nas was popping, my brother. Salute to you. Impress, put in it. I like it, man. Damn. Word. That's what's up, man. Get this money, man. 10-15. Big bad bull. Hey, Big Bad Boy, thank you for the blessing yesterday, man. I know that was out of kindness and appreciation, man. So I was really humbled by that, and I appreciate all your advice and hard work you do as a moderator. Perfect. John was popping. King Cole was popping. Let me see, man. Let me see. Nah, JC was popping. D-Town, what up, my brother? I miss you. I ain't seen you in a month of Sundays, man. Hope all is well. Let me see. Hood Things, of course. JT was popping, man. I miss you. I ain't seen you in a minute. O'Shea was goody. Hope all is well. I gotta go turn this AC up. This sweater sure got me hot as a mother. And Rand Shalom was goody. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. I'm gonna rock it out. I'm gonna drop the link though, because I think that I'm gonna have to dominate the conversation. It seems I want to make sure that these terms and what we actually look at get mined out a little bit. But I'm gonna drop the link if anybody would like to participate, man. So like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Salute to you, man. Salute to y'all, for sure. Damn, I was just looking at a bunch of different things, and I'm looking at people being affected, disproportionately so, right? When we looking at numbers, money, allocation of money, so on and so forth. We look at things like social programs, money given to Israel, money being donated to Ukraine. How does this actually affect us? What's our thoughts here on this type of stuff? We voting for the so-called president today, right? And a lot of weight is put on it, and rightfully so, right? Allegedly, we are still the leaders of the free world. So that person by proxy would be the leader of the free world. So we understand it, man. I don't know if this is still a thing. It seems like everything has loosened up much more. So if you guys would like, you know what? We do it like this, man. We do it like this. I'm going to put a poll in the chat. That way it's slightly anonymous. But I just want to get the gist of the crowd that's in the building so far, man. Salute to everybody who is here, man. You voted for who? You voted for who? Let's see. Trump, Harris. Let's get the understanding. Hit the like button for us. Hit the like button for us. Hit the like button for us. My first question I have is, how do you guys feel about the government becoming smaller? Are you guys a proponent of that? Meaning, like, for instance, the decision with Roe versus Wade, and I'm getting right into it, man, because I ain't staying here all day, man, because I noticed, man, it's hard for people to hit the like button and etc. So I think we'll condense it down and be here for a good time, but not so much of a long time anymore, because it just seemed like the juice sometimes ain't worth the squeeze per se. Feel me? But how do you guys see the government becoming smaller? As an example that is often inflammatory is Roe versus Wade being overturned, right? So simply means at a federal level, the abortion rights were taken away, for lack of a better term, and then given to the state specifically to have the power to be pro-life, pro-choice, etc. How do you guys feel about that stuff? And I'm saying feel on purpose. How do you guys feel about the government shrinking in terms of the federal government in that capacity, where they're not presiding over all the states, they're allowing the states about that topic specifically to preside over themselves? And so what you would argue is that the constituents of said state would be represented in the vote and therefore represented in the law that's passed based on what was voted on. How do you guys feel about that? You guys prefer that, or do you prefer that the federal government polices everything a little bit more hands-on? And I'm looking at it, right? I'm trying to understand you guys' answer. I just want to see where we sit so far with everybody in the chat, you know? Granny was popping. Izzy was popping.
What's going on, man? What's good?
Goody, how you doing?
Sure.
Good. So, okay, so we got 66% of the vote so far in the chat, 41 votes, Trump supporters. Okay. Let me ask you fellas while I'm looking at the chat. How do you feel about making the federal government smaller for all intents and purposes?
I agree with it. Leave it up to the states.
Leave it up to the states? What you think, Izzy? You agree?
Definitely. It's a lot that we don't understand about the federal government and how certain things work. Somebody just put this on. I was watching a clip yesterday and they said, why do we have an ATF? Alcohol is legal, tobacco is legal, and firearms are legal. But we have a branch of the executive government that deals with those three things. So it's kind of like, all right, what do we know what these people do? Do we know what their function is, or do they just kind of have a function and a budget to do what they feel is necessary, as opposed to what we actually need out here?
Okay. And so by that you're saying, well, at least if they localize it, it's seeming like you can almost touch those people. You have a little bit more control.
Exactly, and then we can actually vote to say whether or not what they're doing is necessary. Like, you just knock whatever the ATF does. I can't say what they do. DEA, CIA. I mean, it's a lot of different, organizations, and we think we know what they do, but we can't say that. Yeah. Like the CIA, for instance, we don't know what they do for real.
I think we know what those letters stand for, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
But I think this is an unfortunate thing that the movies paint pictures that we believe to be the truth, and oftentimes you can't see the inner workings of each one of these branches, right? So you kind of go off the movies and things of that nature, which can be extremely dangerous. Mr. Williams, what's popping? What do you think about the federal government shrinking? And I just use Roe versus Wade as an example. We can use affirmative action as another, to where power is kind of given back to the states. Because as you guys know, as a premise, you guys know why we have the Second Amendment, right? I don't know if everybody knows that. It's to protect ourselves against the government, right? So just in terms of as we paint this premise, what say you, Mr. Williams? I apologize.
I think now since the world has changed so much, I think now it's a good thing. Especially if you can actually go to talk with the representatives that are representing your state, and actually physically see them.
Rel, you ready?
And actually voice your concerns. I think it's a whole lot better now. Opposed to like 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
Now, Mr. Williams. Now I know you said that you've been a lifelong Democrat. How do you reconcile that with your voting patterns?
I pay attention to those the ones that are running. I just look at their policies. I look at what they stand for. I look at their record, And if they have interests that are similar to mine, that's who I vote for.
Understood. Now let me and I'm not putting you on a hot seat, but it might be a little hot, but it's unjust.
I'm not worried about it.
In your state specifically, there was a majority white men in the Senate for Kentucky who voted to have retroactive child support, meaning that you can get child support from a man in Kentucky specifically while the child was in the womb.
Yeah. I think
what'd you think about that?
It's a double-edged sword because now they do have it where you do get free testing, DNA test. And if the child is yours, you automatically are obligated to pay. So they do that. If you really want to know if the child is yours, they will test. And if it comes back, then you're automatically in there.
What about the 10 months of gestation? You think men should be paying child support for that?
No, I don't.
But I guess your point is you do have to take the good with the bad. But that shit seems hella bad. Let me do this real quick.
Yeah! Now that's how you kill somebody, my brothers. You get right up on the motherfucker and bam! Throw his brains all over the sidewalk in broad daylight.
Rock the block, baby.
Really was popping.
Hello, everybody.
What's good?
Good morning. You got your cowboy hat on too.
Yeah, I got my cowboy hat on today, man. Obstacle Aaron was good.
Hey, Callie.
Sherelle in the The makeup look nice.
Thank you. I did it in 2 minutes since somebody canceled the show and then started it over.
You in the Discord arguing. You had time.
I was driving around because I thought they had no show.
Stop driving around. Gas ain't free and you don't work.
This work.
This is work.
Shit like that.
I stand corrected. Let me get Callie in, and then I'm gonna jump back a little bit to go to the middle class, to the forgotten class a little bit. But I just want to understand where people's mindset is in regards to who we vote and how we vote and how we see the government, etc. Callie, what do you think about the government shrinking? It's on the table with one of the candidates to dissolve the Department of Education. I brought up Roe vs. Wade. I brought up affirmative action where, states are given more power. Now, there could be an argument that there's a disparity where a lot of people move around. So there could be people caught in states where they don't agree with the policies, but they short because it's not federally mandated or federally governed. What you think?
I don't.
Now, y'all see, I'm talking fast today because I'm gonna dominate this shit. If you ain't flowing, I'm gonna cut you off. All right, because this is real shit. It ain't about vaginas and penises. Go ahead, Callie.
Okay, yeah, I don't agree with smaller government when it comes to people's rights.
Mm-hmm.
I think the federal government should be there to protect the rights that are given. So, in essence, if you have a smaller government, you rely it back on to the states or whatever. The states can do almost whatever the fuck as long as it aligns with the Constitution. If it's not specifically slated in the Constitution.
Okay. Now, if I were to retort that argument, as could the federal government, but at the very least, on a state level, the people who live there can vote on it and have more say so. What do you think?
They could if it was up for a vote.
Okay.
But oftentimes, what happens is that they'll introduce legislation, and the legislatures will vote on it instead of kicking it to the people.
Okay, so oftentimes that stuff is not even on the ballot.
Correct. It's not like a straight up referendum. Like I know California does a lot of referendums to give the legislatures a pass so they don't have to take a hard position on anything.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of states do not operate like that.
Okay, so what type of things have you seen as an example of this happening?
Well, the first thing that came to mind was abortion. The second thing would be the whole mantra about states' rights and everything when it comes to Jim Crow and all that shit.
Expound on it.
Well, if you give it up to the states or whatever like that, I can. I don't have to live under redlining if I live in say, just pick some shit, Idaho or whatever. But I have to live under Jim Crow if I live in Georgia. And you know what I'm saying? Everybody just can't pick up and move to no whole nother state like that. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I accept the pick up and move fact. I actually hate when people say that because of my anecdotal experience owning a moving company. My average move cost is $4,000 to move like a family of four in an actual house. You know what I mean? Apartments is more around 1,500, and that's local moving. You know,
Yeah.
not across state lines, right? So I think I accept that answer pretty well. Tiff, before I get Sherelle in to rewind it back, Aaron, salute, obstacle, salute. I apologize. I wanted to get back to the premise of the middle class being the forgotten class, and I'll get you guys in ASAP. I just wanted to get Tiff in on this one because he seemed like she had a lot of energy for it in the chat specifically. Tiff, what's popping?
Hello, hey y'all, hey
What's
Mr.
going
Aaron,
on?
Izzy, Obstacle, Granville, Miss Callie, Mr. Will, Sherelle, and him. Mr. Yes, I think it's interesting that Callie and I are from states that overwhelmingly, if we wanted to, every law, if it was state, we would be able to push it. When you start talking about state rights, you have to look at the demographic. If we want to get back to that, that's when you had slavery was okay in certain places and it's not in another. So when we talk about federal rights and we talk about we hold these truths to be self-evident, the we is the citizen of the United States of America. There are certain things that federally should not be in question. When you start giving things to states, if the state is very conservative, you can say, California, we don't believe in the death penalty, but in Texas, we do. So we're still citizens. One person gets put to death, another person will live a life sentence. That's not fair. It's not the same.
Question.
So, go ahead.
What do you think there should be a difference though in things that are state mandated and things that are federally mandated? And who comes to that conclusion and makes that decision?
So again, I think at the federal level, you can look and see the things that are locally going to be that need to be run locally. Then
Like what?
Let's say you have a baseline for education, right? Like this is, if you're in the United States, this is the baseline of what you have to learn. Then when you get into the state, if you want to start getting into things, something trivial, like they don't teach cursive in Texas. If they decided, hey, we want to teach cursive, that's different. That for that state is a very different skill set, but all of the children of the United States should be reading at a particular grade level. So federally, here's the standard, and state-wise, this is how we have
Gotcha.
what's best for our demographic.
Okay, so let's look at something a little bit more provocative. What about the death penalty? What do you think? You think that should be federally mandated?
Yeah, I don't think you should have it. Just because the way that our criminal justice system is set up and so many people are under sentences that they didn't do, I don't think it would everybody that would get put to death would necessarily be guilty of a crime that they may have been convicted of.
Okay, so you okay, so that I know that's how you feel, right?
Yeah.
And I know that forensic evidence definitely has exonerated a few people. Right. You know, maybe what is that, 20 years ago or so?
Yep.
But now what do you think about the death penalty itself? Is that something that should be federally mandated?
Yeah, I don't think it should be federal. Yeah. And I don't think it should exist. I think the federal law should say we do not put our citizens to death because of crimes.
Why?
You're not God. I'm not God. I think it's a moral thing. I think a lot of what it is a morality.
Okay. So killing shouldn't be met with killing.
You can't, correct.
Okay. But if biblically speaking it is, so then what do you do?
What if you don't believe in the Bible? What if you're not?
Well, you said God, so who are you talking about?
Well, I respect God, but I don't think, again, when we're talking about morality and baselines of what is good and bad, if it's off of your religion, we don't all have the same religious thoughts. So again, take my morality or my rule code that I think is good and just say on a base level, we don't kill people.
Yeah, no, 100%. I understand that, right? But then when you want to bring it back to the feds, right? And we have things like not the national anthem. What's the one thing that we used to always say in school? I forget.
The Pledge of Allegiance.
The Pledge of Allegiance. To the republic for which it stands, one nation under.
Indivisible with liberty and justice.
Well, under who?
What?
Under what?
Under God.
Yeah. So and you see how the
To be fair, under God is new though.
Well, I'm not as old as you, Callie. So when I was in school, it wasn't old, nigga.
What I'm saying, it was like what, like 50s.
Wait,
it was all about the red
did you
scare
have
and
it?
shit.
Did you have under God in yours?
Yes.
Oh shit, Callie, that thing 150 years old. Then if he had it,
it's not though. It's not 150 years old.
I
They
know,
only
but
started
it's a
doing that
moot
shit because of
argument,
the
right?
red scare on some cammy
But
shit.
the-
On
but the
some
argument-
common shit.
the
My
argument is
mother
for
and
what?
father
Yeah.
too, as well. My mother and father, they had that as well, and my father was 71.
Everybody has under God. So
71.
at least in our recent 100-year history, right? So, but Tiff, this is what I'm saying. If you want to give it back to the federal government, isn't a lot of what we do predicated on Christianity, so to speak?
We're a Protestant country, but we also say that we believe that people have a right to practice like they want to. So we're saying God it depends. And Callie's not wrong. 1945 is the year that under God got added. So
Yeah.
this is an addition.
Yeah, it ain't new.
How old is America?
If we're doing 1776 and then you're talking about it was added in 1945, that's new.
Nigga, you wasn't
That's
even
new
a person.
shit,
You wasn't
cuz.
even a person in 1776.
Right, but at the same time, it goes to the basis of that we have a freedom of religion.
To do what though? But you want to govern. So you have a country that's governed by a particular religion. You want that religion then to acquiesce to other religions? No, it's saying can do. Well, let me finish these sentences. You can do as you please pertaining to your religion. However, you'll be governed under our religion. Isn't that how it will work?
And that's the whole hypocrisy of it.
What's so hypocritical about that?
Because then if we're operating under a certain religion or whatever like that, that's a daggone theocracy, and we don't have one of those here.
Say it again. I wasn't listening.
Oh my God. Then that would mean that we have a theocracy, and we don't. We are not beholden to follow any one religion.
No, but the government is predicated off a particular religion. So you can't have that government now acquiesce to what it doesn't subscribe to, but because it gives you freedom, now it has to listen to you based on how it governs itself. That would be dangerous and foolish. It's still Rome.
Well, no, but then now you're infringing on my right of freedom of religion.
Not if you killing in my country. See, that's the thing.
Well,
That's what was on the table, Callie. Remember? She said if you murdering, you shouldn't be murdered, right? But biblically speaking, that's what happens, right? So I don't have to acquiesce to what you believe because you're still in this country that's predicated itself off of Christianity and the Bible.
But in hemp, you would have what you would be saying would have some validity if we didn't have separation between church and state. And that's something that, again, we've agreed federally, that we have a separation between state and church because of different religious beliefs.
Where did they get the laws from?
Predicated on a Protestant.
See, no. I have something to stand on. What you're doing is conflating a different idea.
Just go
well, church and state is for what? So you can practice freely, right?
Mhm.
But based on how our laws are created and what we're governed by, like for instance, I know you never been in court. Oh no, you a jail nigga too. So you put your hand on that Bible, don't you? Jail nigga, I'm talking to you. You put your hand on that Bible.
I took a further adjudication. No.
Okay, but you see, you catch my drift, right? That's what we're paying. It's a good combo, you know. I just kind of thinking about bringing stuff back and forth to the state. Does anybody want to add some commentary? Good shit, Callie and Tiff. Anybody want to add some commentary
like,
just before I rewind to the other part? Go ahead, my bad.
Even on the money, it says, "In God we trust." So within this nation that we have, it's under God, and that's where they're pulling the laws from. You have the freedom to be an atheist in your own house, but the laws, the government, and how it's governed is still under some type of religious belief, and it's Christianity. It's a Christian country.
It's actually
no, but even still, even in the God we trust in money, that's new too. That wasn't that is not at its foundation of the country.
It was.
And even
I know.
still,
So what we're saying is like
with
over time,
well,
it changed, but it's just like what it is now, right? So like it's new that we're free but we're free. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So we focus on the fact that we was slave, or do we focus on the fact that we're free now? And right now, it's underneath this Christian rule. So
well, no, we'll see. Well, actually, slavery was against the foundation of the Constitution, so they were just being hypocrites. But you know what I'm saying? That's why if you like a staunch constitutionalist or whatever like that, you would automatically see that shit was wrong. The God on our money of all things. This is a religious nation, but you're gonna put God on money of all things. That shit is on some Twilight Zone shit too. So
Well,
I'm saying.
let's do
Go
this.
ahead.
So what this is a moment. I think we had a good back and forth, Tiff, Callie, and I. I just want to see if anybody had any additional commentary on this particular subject. That commentary will be what it'll be, and then we'll go to the other one. All right. So I want to make sure I get everybody's opinion. I think we got some dope things to cover to edify the people. Sherelle, will you finish your commentary?
Can we just say, because Ringo?
No, Tiff.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Aaron, Ops, y'all good on this one? Granny, what's poppin'?
I'll just have a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I think when it comes to the religion, man, you go to any country, they have some premise or some type of influence from their religion, but they allow people to practice freely, right? But that doesn't change where the nation comes from in their stance. You can go to Muslim countries, you can go to countries that follow Buddhism, Hinduism. You could practice freely. Christians, Muslims are free to come practice, even build actual mosques and structures. But net, at the end of the day, the country still has some origins, and they originate certain things from that origins. So, how they create laws and certain different types of legislations all originate from there. Also with a bunch of other things. I don't think it's too much hypocritical. I think at the same time, we got to see people for who they are. They make mistakes, they do things. The world was a different place back then. So slavery, everybody had slavery. As Elon Musk said, everybody was a slave. It's just talking about what periods you were a slave in. And so at the end of the day, I think we kind of tend to put the microscope on our country, but there's been other countries and other people perpetrating the same frauds and at the same time having a battle with their religions while they still were coming into more humanism, as you could say, and getting rid of those old tendencies of the world. So
ain't nobody got no constitution like us neither, though.
Aaron?
Nobody has a constitution.
Callie, she gonna fight all the commentary no matter what. I think.
Right,
I'm glad you said that.
Middle class joints is lit, so I'm trying to go that way. So
yeah, I want to go that way. Go ahead, Aaron.
I'm glad you said that. We can practice religion freely, but I don't think we have a freedom of religion.
Aaron, your microphone on whisper.
Is this better?
No.
How about now?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm glad you said that, Obstacles, that we can practice religion freely, but we don't have the ability or freedom of religion. And what I'm saying is, if you have a government that is predicated on a religion that says you have a freedom of religion, there's eventually going to come a conflict. I think there's an automatically assumed caveat that says you can practice your religion as long as it doesn't conflict with the religion that supports the government. Once that conflict occurs, you no longer have freedom to practice that religion. So I do draw a distinction. That at some point, priority will be taken. And I ask the question, to what extent does your freedom exist?
The thing is that what often gets confused is freedom of religion and freedom from religion, sure, but you don't have a freedom from religion in that you are not free to tell somebody they can't practice theirs. You're not free from anybody else's religion. It doesn't mean the government. It means you have to tolerate others because we all live here together. But you do have a freedom of religion in that you can practice the religion that you want. And we all agreed on these other things that are moral things. You know what I'm saying? If we were to say that this is a Christian nation and everything like that, and based off of the 10 Commandments, if we follow that, right, then it would be against the law to be jealous of your neighbor type shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. we picked and choose all the ones that would actually do harm to someone else out of those 10 commandments. It's not based just solely on, if it was just a Christian nation like that, then the Constitution would be straight up the daggone 10 commandments, but it's not. We pick and choose.
But he didn't say, but he's saying you can't conflict with the laws of the land here. That's right. The overarching, but that's the main takeaway. That's why I don't want everybody to try to fight all the commentary, because we put smoke over his point, and I think that point still remains valid. You can have 4 wives in Islam, but you can't do it here.
That's for
legal reasons. But that's for legal reasons.
I know,
paperwork and government, but not based on no
Callie,
religion.
that's why I asked you. Now I have to say it more adamantly. Okay. We don't have to fight all the commentary, because he didn't even say nothing wrong.
So what he's saying is you can have that religion, you just can't practice all of those practices if they go against what we talking about. So you can't be slaughtering goats just because your religion says y'all slaughter goats. You can't do that over here. Like you said, you can't marry 4. That was the point. Okay, well, yeah, I agree. I feel that.
Yeah. But yeah, we ain't bothering nobody, but you also can't go against the laws of the land based on what our laws are predicated on. That's the key. I just want the people to hear the takeaway. The Granny, did you have anything on that one? Maybe not. Izzy, did you have anything on that one?
No, I'm good on that one.
Yeah. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Aaron with the $2 says, the next election, black people will unite. I feel it. Dot T was popping with the £2 said, we appreciate you, Hamp. Thank you. HQ with the $2 says, damn, always when I'm riding. Lauren with the $20 super sticker. And we can get my man OJ out the way. Salute to Lauren for the first 20 ball of the day. Didn't fit. Get the likes up. We got 300 people in the building, and we have 126 likes. Hey, man, we need everybody to participate. That includes hitting the like button. There's one term I got to get to before I go to the middle class rail and obstacles. Inflation. I'm going to try to be as articulate as possible in my sentiment here. People don't know what the fuck inflation is. Inflation be kicking niggas' asses when we talk about it. And frankly, it's Aaron's fault.
Niggas?
Why you haven't explained this? Oh, now you're on mute. Now all of a sudden you know how to unmute all of a sudden. Okay, got it.
I sorry. I thought it was a pretty widely understood concept.
No. Inflation is very difficult to understand, it seems. And we use the term and we can't tie to it what causes it. You know?
Well,
so we'd like to take a stab at this. Go ahead. We listen, Aaron. We listen.
Take a stab at describing inflation?
Yeah, we listen. Sherelle, watch him.
It's pretty much the rate of increase, in prices over time. Inflation is, all right. Look at it this way: you work for Walmart and I work for McDonald's. I need a raise as a McDonald's employee so I can buy more things, and you need a raise as a Walmart employee so you can buy more things. When we buy more things, these companies see a profit, which then causes us to give a raise to buy more things, which gives them a greater profit, which gives you a raise, which increases profit. But what doesn't change is the actual things. The valuation of those things should stay the same, but it doesn't. So because you've gotten raises over the years, because your company's gotten more profit over the years, because I've gotten more raises and spent more money at your company, which gave them their profits, and the same thing occurred, the cost of goods has gone up, even though the goods and thereof just stayed the same.
Look at CC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron, can I say?
You want to tag him out?
Tag me in, Aaron.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Granny.
The more money you spend, the more money they make, the more value that those products get because you want them supply and demand. It's that simple.
There you go. I like it.
Are those products worth more money?
Correct.
Or is your
Because
dollar worth less?
those products
That
are
one.
worth.
That one.
No, the dollar is worth less.
No. Okay,
Dollars worth
okay.
less.
Money wise, the dollar's worth less, but the product's worth more because more people want. But yes, your dollar's worth less.
Okay,
And the more
because
dollars in circulation.
inflation. Let me say this point real quick. Inflation is often described like this too. Eggs cost $10 for 12 now because the truckers went on strike. You ever heard that one? Or there's lettuce. The lettuce in Texas got poisoned, so now there's less lettuce. So now lettuce costs $8 per thing as opposed to $4, which would be characterized as inflation. Let's argue about it. I mean, let's talk about it.
I don't think that's inflation. That is basically.
So we can all do. Who had penny candy? Like you used to could go to the store and get candy for a penny. That candy and the cost of making it has not risen. If anything, it's probably cheaper because they can mass produce. However, I can mark up the number and make it be whatever it is. That's inflation. The cost of what I made is 25 cents, but I can charge you $1.25.
Why?
We have some because I'm giving you the product. I'm showing you the product. I'm selling you. You don't have to pay the price.
No.
No, inflation is basically if there's more money in circulation or whatever like that, then that means the worth of the dollar is less. So the more money in circulation, the dollar is not worth as much, and then the cost is inflated because of that.
That's my accurate.
That's a better description. Yeah.
I think what we're okay. So say the Federal Reserve prints out $1 million a day, and that supplies pretty much the whole society with what they need. And then one day they jump up to 3 million. There's extra money in the market, making the dollars that we were spending less valuable. And of course, when you raise the prices to supply for the increase of the money supply, I think that's what's causing inflation. Because the value of the thing hasn't changed.
There's more money in
the value of the money. The value of the money has gone down because there's more of it.
So I think you guys are right. So here we go. AI overview. Inflation is a general increase in the price of goods and services over time. Here are some examples of inflation. Coffee prices. In 1970, a cup of coffee in the U.S. cost 25 cents. But by 2019, it costs $1.59. That's pretty simple, right? Is that cost of living?
No.
Increases, which is why a cup of coffee costs so much more for 50 years later? Or is it more money being in the market?
It's price gouging.
It's like you said, it's cost of living, but in combination with the relevance of the past. So cost of living is just a cost of living of that time and point, but then you translate it between the past, and then now you have a contingent to say, okay, here's where the inflation is inflecting the cost of living. So they kind of go hand in hand. Because inflation could be an issue for just budgetary or accounting purposes, but you can also take into a human being and their cost of living, which is another factor of spending money or money flowing throughout the economy.
Okay, so what about when you go to the cost of living, work with me, Hamp. How Hamp disappeared? Okay, so we moved in this apartment, right? 2-bedroom, $800.
Mm-hmm.
Within 3 years of living here, the rent is now $1,200.
Yeah.
If we would have, if when a new person moves in, they renovate the apartments, they put new carpets, they paint, they update the appliances, they give it to a new person. They don't do none of that when you live in the actual apartment. They're not fixing anything. They're not improving anything. Yet each year, the price of the rent is going up.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not actually putting in any type of new effort why is the rent going up?
I got that one.
Their employees need raises.
Yeah, it not only that, it's just kind of like I do real estate all the time. It's fair market value. So if in comparison to the other properties that are similar to that same building, which is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom in a certain given location, those are called comparables. So those are the metrics that you measure what the rent shall be. And then at the same time, it's with the buyers and sellers, or you could call yourself a renter in this occasion, right? And the landlords or the property owners. And in conjunction with that, if the market is shifting in the direction of up, then I can charge more rent for that particular square footage, bedroom and bathroom, regardless of if I'm putting in a new kitchen countertop and etc. Some people do it, it's called a value add. And then now their property kind of moves up into a different type of bracket, which would be, oh, these apartments have, countertops and a kitchen that looks like an open concept. And so yours is outdated with, the rugs and terrible, fixtures without the property, which is mostly
Condense that answer.
Yeah. So basically a bunch of factors, a bunch of metrics, and then in totality with the whole market moving and shift of similar properties. And that's what changes the price and increases it. Or decreases. In 2008, you'd be different.
All right. Land that plane.
Done.
Damn it, you might get all that information. So I think the key is the market, right? And obstacles. You said that, I think, first and foremost, right? Like for instance, to make a simple example, when the so-called Redskins built that stadium in Landover, the housing market, the value increased because of different what would it be called? Attractions and things of that nature, right? So the value of the area goes up, in which case you're allowed to charge more because the entire area is charging more, right? So people want to maximize. So it's also almost like whatever that area can bear is what people are going to go up to.
But is this like really predicated on anything that's realistic? Or are they just grabbing these numbers out the air?
Well, so now that goes back, even though Tiff's price gouging statement was misplaced, if you characterize this at price gouging, I wouldn't be super thrown off, I guess. Go ahead, what y'all got?
I think that also, to Sherelle's point, if, okay, you moved in a year ago and it's 1,000, and then the next year they charge you extra 250, there may be indications that people are willing or able to pay that amount. So say there are people moving in from other cities, whatever city you're in, there are people from another side of town moving in and they can afford to pay that $1,250. So now they're like, okay, well, we're going to charge everybody $1,250 because I know that they can afford it. Kind of like the groceries, like we're complaining about the groceries, but people can, without the market just crashing, we can afford to pay these exorbitant
but people
rates
can't
on
afford
food.
it. Like homelessness
we
is
can't.
going up. Homelessness is going up, and then there's a lot like these luxury apartment buildings. There's so many empty luxury apartment buildings vacant because people cannot even afford it.
That's true.
You're just building things, charging rent that's not even. So what's the point?
There's some people moving in. So all right, so I'll try and make this quick.
So here's what I'm gonna need. Let me just make sure. Condense it down so we can understand all the information and respond accordingly.
Definitely. So say you got a 100 unit apartment, and if you fill 35 of those units, you break even. If you make 40, you get a profit. So you might not need the whole 100 to be good.
Yeah. So
if I can move 40 people in and the other 60 units are empty or bare or just waiting, I'm making a profit. I don't care because I'm not crashing, as opposed to if it was only 30 people, I might have to drop the rent.
I like that. Let me show you how to do it.
Put me on.
I got 100 apartments, right, really? If I rent out 30, I break even. When I get anywhere over 30, I pay all my bills and I make a little bit of profit. Right? So what you see is empty, I see is the margin that I want to hit. And so that's how they often do it. So 30 is where
your point. So your objective is to get over.
Well, you at the very least want to pay a bill. So, like for instance, obstacles is in real estate. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think 5 properties is what you need to kind of start living off the money. I think they say you need like 4 or 5, and I think it depends on market, right? But I think they say 4 or 5 is the number where you kind of start making some residual income that you can actually use and put towards something. So these big, when they build these apartment buildings at 30, like, okay, cool, all our bills is paid. And then they expect to start making money over time, like Izzy said, when people start moving in and the area starts getting better as a whole. So Op's initial point about, the market value in the area.
And that's spot on. And then one thing that not mentioned often is economic opportunity. You can go to Detroit and find the most cheapest houses, but nobody wants to go there because industry left.
Yeah.
So if industries and economic opportunities leave, it could destroy an entire value of a whole city. You go to coal towns, steel towns, they've been destroyed where their prices were high before, but once industry left, boom, it came down crashing. So economic opportunity is also another metric.
Yep. Hell yeah. Yep. Like Pittsburgh got destroyed over that. Buffalo.
The whole state of Ohio.
Yep. Let's go through these just because these are inflation examples. Where's Tiff at? Okay.
Hey, if I could real quick, and salute to Hamp and everybody on the panel, but if I could real quick, another thing that people tend to forget when you're talking about inflation is when you raise the minimum wage. Because what happens when minimum wage gets raised, the people on the lower end of the pay scale, their wages go up, but the people that work to get to where the people's minimum wage got raised to, their wages don't go up in concordance with the minimum wage, which in essence brings them from being middle class back down to being poor. And then that causes a lot of the prices to raise and skyrocket. Now everybody's in the same boat.
That's actually one thing we're going to talk about before. I guess it's all related to the middle class, but that's another question I had. Let's just get through. I didn't think inflation was going to take this long, but since apparently we don't know what the fuck we're talking about, it's taking a long time, but that's okay. I ain't going to tell nobody else. There's only 300 people here. So, shopping basket prices. If the same item in your shopping basket cost $100 last year, it now costs $105. That's inflation. Lettuce prices. In 2022, lettuce prices increased due to an insect-borne virus that affected in Salinas Valley growing region in California. Fertilizer prices very similar. In spring 2022, fertilizer prices hit an all-time high due to Russian invasion of Ukraine. So I think simply prices increases, they're calling that inflation, and then market changes can be a cause for inflation. What you guys think?
Yeah.
Did you guys mention like how national disasters and stuff like that can actually change inflation as well?
Yeah, I think not the fertilizer one, but the lettuce, like insect-borne viruses killing all the lettuce would be something similar to that. Yeah, 100%. Did you guys see the price gouging of the flights trying to get out of Florida? That's sick, bro. Like,
dude, I remember in 9/11 when all that happened, the day afterwards, gas stations that were selling gas for literally 98 cents a gallon, the next day was selling gas for $5.25 a gallon. The next day, and I'm talking even in small town Ohio.
Yeah, that shit.
So it's really a compound issue because you got supply and demand plus market plus the world market, because like they said with the fertilizer, depending on where we get what we need.
Yeah.
So to an old point, to the smaller government, I think that would I wonder if that plays a part in inflation. What the government is actually involved in, what they oversee, like the price gouging and stuff like that. I wonder if that has to do with inflation as well.
Well, I think so, and I think I'm trying to figure out in my head the smaller government make more sense, but to like Tiff's point, and I think maybe to Cali, it gets dangerous where it's so localized that people just doing what they want to do. Like I couldn't believe that those prices was $600 to fly out of Orlando when people could potentially be in a Category 5. Like they rather had the storm catch a bunch of bodies than let people get out of there for a decent cost.
Or even when the pandemic was happening, the way that they was charging people for water, tissue paper, they was priced out like $5 for water,
mask.
like tissue, like
mask,
hand sanitizers, masks, everything. It was.
I think
And I think there's a thin line too between trying to. I'm sorry, maybe it's my internet. Can you guys
But
hear
see,
me? Okay.
that right there is a clear example of the supply and demand he was talking about earlier. There is a huge demand for the supply, so therefore they can actually demand a higher price, and you're going to pay it.
Yeah. Let's do this. Let's do Cali and then
I would say
obstacle.
often with.
Go ahead.
I don't know about you guys down in Texas, but like when
hold on. Sorry, man. Callie, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead. Make
I
your
was
point.
going to say that. I was going to say that there is a thin line between trying to judge between the supply and demand thing and the price gouging thing, which makes it seem like, just tossing supply and demand at everything and ignoring the price gouging, we run into problems as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No,
Obstacles. Hold on. Obstacles. He was like they were talking at the same time.
Yeah, he could go real quick. Go ahead. I'm not.
No, I was just going to make one quick statement to what she said. I agree with what she's saying, but like for instance, when we had that solar eclipse that everybody could see from Texas all the way to Ohio.
Yeah.
I don't know how it was down there where you live, but up here in Indiana where I was, anywhere where the path of that solar eclipse went through, every hotel quadrupled the prices for people to stay in them. Quadrupled them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because they were going to have more people in with more revenue and people were going to be willing to pay it.
Yeah, no, 100%. What's up, Crimson? Salute. Yeah. So Airbnb, right? It has an automatic price setting, right, where it'll move the price based on what's happening. Freezy, Shalom, salute to the gym. So, Beyonce, she paid the rent for a month in one weekend. Whenever Beyonce come, Airbnb puts the price to $600 a night, and people pay it. I think that's more supply and demand than a lot of other shit we see.
But why is that supply and demand? It's just really capitalism.
Well, I think it's all capitalism, right? It's just how it shapes.
I think it's extortion, personally.
Maybe so.
Yeah, it's capitalism because in a way you could actually do it the correct way, but it's going to make sure that the people at the top stay at the top and nobody else gets there. You're going to get into the top percent by this much, and they don't want it to be no different. So no matter how much this person makes, they're going to move the inflation. We'll give you a raise, but we're going to raise everything else around it so that we can actually never change the status quo of how things are going. But we can give you the illusion that, okay, I'm making more money. Okay, but we'll tax you at a higher rate. You won't qualify for these benefits that you used to get. But somehow you think you made it.
I think, in my personal experience, and what I think is that America is the most socioeconomic country that we've seen in a very long time throughout history, period. And so I'm the top 2% in America, and I'm top 1% in the world. And that's all just through financial literacy, just understanding how to account for my own money and my own spending habits and what to do. Not only just how to earn money, but what to do with money once you earn it. And I think once you just put those two together, you're on the track to changing your life, period. That's all it is.
So you feel that it is okay for you to say, and you mentioned the word human, as a person on the planet, specifically in the United States, I want to say the top 1% hoards 30% of the wealth. The 1% is not a lot of people. So you are okay with hoarding money, not regulating things like emergency services because of weather conditions, and then say you need to educate yourself and everybody can get out of it. It is a false equivalent. We need to stop telling people that, because what Sherelle is saying is the people at the bottom are perpetually trying to get up, and the people at the top are never feeling what the people at the bottom are experiencing. And you're so out of touch that you believe that that is a legitimate statement when you are in a country of other citizens. Other countries somehow pay to ensure that the citizens eat, have health care, and have somewhere to stay.
Okay. Let them ops.
Yeah, it was a question, but then it got answered by yourself. So I'm just going to go in a different direction. And thanks for that. So let me give you some stats real quick. So 53% of actual people who reach and achieve millionaire and plus status all are self-made. No money inherited by anybody else. Inherited levels around 12%. And then they fail after generation. 70% fail in the first generation, 90% in the next generation. And then it goes up to 78 for people who got at least like $25,000. So again, it's like a hotel. People are checking in, checking out. People get money and then lose it, and that's because of behaviors. You guys see it in celebrities when they make a lot of money, right? And they all end up broke, and it's just poor money management a lot of the times. And so again, there's multiple changes, and I'm here to actually provide a bunch of information for people, because there's other information in the market that says you can't do it because somebody's stopping you. And let's say they're a little bit right, but you have something to do and you just gonna fight. So fight for your right and your claim to have a good life and be free economically.
You want to respond, Tiff?
No.
No?
So do you think that every American could be a millionaire if they followed that?
No.
I think.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I don't want to take up in too much time or anything.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So millionaire, possibly not. I think that a bunch of Americans could be financially literate and be financially secure, and it doesn't take much. Most of actual people, this is going to surprise you, right? A lot of people who are very successful are teachers economically in the long run, because over the long years they pay into their pensions, just constant, steady. They don't do nothing crazy. They don't make a big company and blow it up. They just pay in that, and then by the time they're around 50 or around time they're 60, they have a good amount of money to retire and relocate. So it's lawyers, teachers, and doctors that actually end up doing good. But again,
okay, so let me show you
ahead.
something a process that goes on in America. I was in the trucking industry. Okay, how they inflate the trucking industry is they're always running ads saying that we have a trucking shortage. We don't, which bankrupt. It's not only hurting the average owner op, but it's actually bankrupting small business, like small companies. So there's many trucking companies who went out of business, went bankrupt because of a bunch of drivers who don't know how to drive, which means now the brokers are in there and they're lowballing everything. But if you don't have a lot of experience, somebody can tell you to pull this freight that you should be making $10 for pulling, they can give you $2 and you don't know the difference. And if we have enough people willing to pull this at $2, then now you're hurting the people who know, no, this is $10 freight that we should be moving.
Yeah.
That's what it does. They'll keep on killing it, even though this is the thing that's thriving. So truckers aren't doing this because they're irresponsible. No, they're getting fucked.
Yeah, what you're all saying.
The strikers at the port aren't just irresponsible. They're getting fucked.
So condense it.
Their job is important in keeping the industry and economy moving anyway. But yet you want to shit on the middle class. We don't get free rent. We don't get the Section 8. We don't qualify for the food stamps. We don't qualify for subsidies. So we're having to pay everything full price. And we're the ones on the ground actually making sure that y'all 1% asses is comfortable in this country, and we're getting shitted on.
What it is, well, so what she's describing, just to quickly, and an obstacle I want you to respond, is market saturation, right? So if you move the DC as an example, there's so many black lawyers, it doesn't make any sense. So since there's so many of them, you can pay them less because you can get somebody to do the same job at a more nominal rate. And so that's what's happening with the truckers. That's why they keep on promoting it, because the market is too saturated. It's 10 drivers looking for one load. So I'll go, hey, I'll do it for $4. You say, well, shit, I'll do it for $3. And then they take the most competitive cost. And then you have the brokers on top of it shopping the load. So that's what that is, just to condense it down. Now, Ops, do you want to respond to your comfortable asses comment?
Yeah. So, I find this interesting. Look, there's good people and bad people at all levels of class, right? And I wouldn't even, if you want to call them bad and good, but what I'm just saying is not everybody who has capital is the evil person who sits on their A's. I think we don't look, and I'm not saying that's all you said, right? I'm just adding that to the conversation. And so people mostly don't see the value that's created by those 1%. Massive amounts of resources are invested in the said community, and then those resources are risked. So if that company goes under, guess what happens? You go find a new job. If that company goes under, though, that person possibly loses everything that was connected because they risked it all in order to leverage that. Elon Musk, if he goes, if SpaceX and Tesla don't work, he's flat broke. He has no cash. He has no bunch of mansions. And then there's some people who do hoard. And so that's a different type of character of people of class. So there's different people.
One second, Terrell, because he said
Everybody, wait real quick. I need to ask one clarification point. So obstacles, we generally don't say some. So where do you think the majority of the 1%ers lie? People that are doing things, investing in the community, jobs, risking it, or people hoarding their money and saying, I don't give a fuck what happened to those people below me?
Nah, people is risking it, most definitely.
Okay.
So
Let's
then
go.
he
Are you
mentioned
gonna go, Sherelle? You gonna let Tiff jump in?
No, I want to go. So the
Because you
thing
guys
is
are having
with
it back
this,
and
when you're
forth.
when you're
If you can
talking
go
about
right after, they were just going back and forth. That's all.
Okay. So when you're talking about the money that they're allocating, the middle class, the people who are actually making your country run, are not actually qualifying for this. You're giving incentives and you're incentivizing people who don't want to do nothing to continue to do nothing. So it's actually still hurting the middle class because you're funneling the money into people who actually are deciding that they don't want to work. Those are the people who are getting qualified for the benefits and the kickbacks of America. Motherfuckers who say my rent is $0 and I'm going to make sure that my rent is $0. But you're killing your middle class. That's a problem.
So, and then to build on to what Sherelle said, you mentioned corporations. One, I'd like for you to give me a corporation that is doing that trickle down that you talk about, because I think we are very aware of Walmart. The Waltons, I think, are all of 11 of them are in the top 20 of billionaires. Their employees get social services. So you are making money off of the citizens. You have people buying your products, and your employee that's working for you, we're paying for their health care. We're paying for their rent subsidized. So if it were all things being fair and it was a livable wage, I think I could follow and go there with you. But if you're working full-time at Walmart and you qualify for food stamps and reduced rate, does that not show somewhere in the system something's broken? Something needs to be reconciled.
Not as a business owner. But before I jump in, go ahead, Granny.
Most of the 1% class are 9-to-5 workers, bro, that save their money over a consistent amount of time. Most millionaires in America are first-time millionaires gained off of wealth from themselves, from their 401k and the house that they own. Majority, 80% of them are. You can go look up this information. They work 9-to-5 jobs every day. They're not a doctor. They're not a lawyer. They're not no astrophysicist. They're regular, normal, average day people. And when you talk about millionaires, it's between $1.2, $1.7 million. That's 80% of it, which ain't no whole lot of money.
And Granny, add that one last layer too, is the fact that a lot of people's millionaire status is tied up in assets.
Tied up in a fucking house. In a house,
your house
bro.
could be worth $600,000. That's how you so close to that number.
But
you know what I'm saying?
But you also have to say, also at the same time, they bought that house 4 to 5 years before a boom, like we just went through in a housing market or something.
Yep.
They got lucky. They got lucky. They weren't there at the first, but they went through a 30% increase in a home fucking price. They gave them that status.
That's kind of going away from what me and Tiff was saying. But
1%.
Yeah, wait,
billionaires.
But
1% isn't billionaires.
The thing is with the Walmart, you're saying that it doesn't hurt businesses. Walmart kills businesses. It's ironic because Granville community, where Granville grew up and where he lived, was boycotting a Walmart being built. And the moment that Walmart got there, they started a fucking price match and put out the businesses that we grew up in, all the grocery stores around us, completely put them out of business, and then no more price match after that, because now we're stuck with them. So you're the number one employee. Walmart, McDonald's, they're the top employees in the country. Y'all are making the most money, but y'all are paying y'all employees the least.
No, they're not. Kensico's grocery is exactly a mile away from my house. which is technically still my neighborhood where I go.
Brandon,
I don't even shop at that point.
We don't give a shit about Cansicos.
Nobody cares about Cansicos.
Like small business.
Cansicos is Cansicos. But what happened to Winn-Dixie? Because I grew up with Winn-Dixie being right there.
Yeah,
all my life.
don't go down the anecdotal road. I think your point is well made.
Yeah,
I
we
think
got your
that's-
point.
Yeah.
This is the problem, though, Ham. This is the main focal point. You don't want these big businesses. Stop shopping there. Stop giving them the money.
But that's not. See, that's
Stop.
when people. But that's that. So obstacles. I want to make sure you get in because you were supposed to respond a couple times ago. I think that's like telling people just move if you don't like it. Right? People have mouths to feed. People have limited income and resources. So to save $2 times shopping 7 days times 52 weeks, that's money that they need.
Yeah, I get it.
Not only that, people have children. Their elderly parents aren't moving. They're living on fixed incomes with the houses that they live in. Who's gonna watch those children? Do you know how much help? Like, who's
let's
environment where you're protected and this is where you know. But
let's stay here right here. Let's stay right here because Sherelle, I want your overarching point to be addressed. Right? We got in a little bit of the weeds, which is fine, but I think the overarching point is a good discussion point.
And then,
Go ahead,
and also,
and then
you guys are talking about the 0.01%. So 1%, and there's a 0.01. See, me, I'm a 1%. I'm far from 0.01%, and those are the Elon Musk, Bezos, and all those individuals in what you're talking about.
What's the number, or what's the?
It's
what's
like
the range?
2.4, 2.3 million. It's not a lot in America. It's not. But then that big
that's
gap
not even 1%, bro.
I think 1% might
That's only about 0.4%
in a million.
Real quick,
Yeah,
good afternoon to
Go
the
ahead,
panel.
go ahead.
In the U.S.,
It's
it's
Googleable.
5.81 million. In the world, globally, it's 30.
30 million?
In the U.S., the top 1%, 5.8, roughly around that. Globally, it's 30 mil, roughly.
No. That's definitely far off. It's way less than that. But whatever. Let's not even go down that one. But again, that 0.1, when you're talking about 300 billion, that's vastly different, right? That's up there.
So, quickly,
but I get her point though.
Quickly, Investopedia, top 1%, 819,000.
See, there we go.
And then CNBC had it at 1.2.
Yeah,
Thank you.
The math is different.
Nah, look
The
at
math is crazy.
that math is different. It has like
No, that's
some
the
different
math.
skills you have to read into it. As
That's
for
the math. 800,000. Because
Yeah, you got to
a lot
create
of-
your own and read into it. But no, what it is on its face value is that.
And then what we have to understand is millionaire versus $1 million earner. Like Granville was saying, if I have a Picasso that's worth $1 million, I am a millionaire, even if I'm homeless. But actually being $1 million earner, meaning you're generating $1 million over a year's time, that's a whole different conversation. So there are millionaires who, like you said, work 9 to 5 because they have a nice house, got some possessions that are worth something, been appraised, and they could be working at McDonald's with this. You could work at McDonald's, have a nice house, as long as you can take care of your necessities, you're a millionaire. But being $1 million earner, generating $1 million over, that's a different conversation.
It's about that net worth at the end of the day, what you keep, not about what you make. So a lot of people make and then they don't keep a lot, and then therefore it doesn't affect their net worth, but they can make six figures. Six-figure earners live paycheck to paycheck, and that's because of they don't keep it because of multiple factors.
Because most Americans have made $1 million in a lifetime, a couple of $1 million in a lifetime.
So what is the point of contention here? Is it more so about Tip's overarching point about how like the cost of living wage, because that's something that perked my ears, because cost of living wage, just on a quick Google search, I'll share this here with you guys. Cost of living wage in the United States varies by location, right, and family size, but in 2022 it was $25. If you own a small business, would this affect small businesses? Because, okay, maybe Walmart can pay that, but if we all are expected to pay a cost of living wage, how do the 43% of us survive? Because we don't even qualify for certain tax breaks and things of that nature. Like the one that
I agree.
just this last part, I'd be quick. The one that Vice President Harris, remember, she said something to the effect of, "I have a $50,000 tax credit, but you have to have a gross profits of $50,000 or $60,000 in order to qualify for that." So who's doing that? You know what I mean? So like, so when you the small business and we saying living wage this and that, who can afford to pay all their people $25.72?
That's where I think
Not
that's
a
where
lot.
inflation comes in, because if I have to pay that much, I have to raise my prices to compensate so that I come out even or better. So I think that's where the whole
So,
minimum
but this is,
wage and whatnot.
but take this walk with me real quick. I want to get Kenny, and then I want to get Snowman, and I want to get Tiff, and then Obstacle. We go down the line, then we're gonna come back to Granny. All right. So this is what happened. There's a thing called wheat and van lines, right? They got 52-foot trailers where they'll put 4 families on one trailer and drive them motherfuckers up the East Coast and drop people off as they go. Right. So they charging them $40 per man to load their shit. But I'm priced at between 55 and 65, right? Because I try to pay my guys well, and at the same time I got to make a profit. But I don't have 3 52-foot trailers that I can send 3 guys for 7 days. I can't afford that, right? So when I have to raise my prices, the big guy doesn't. He has so many more resources. So it seems like a sound remedy until you have to actually apply it. You see what I'm saying? So I understand that premise. It just in real time, when Mike Tyson said when you get punched in your shit, it ain't working like that. You know what I'm saying? Let's go down the line. Kenny, what's popping?
Afternoon again. I sent where I cited that article because these numbers scare. I sent it from Money in Your IG. Peace to the panel. I was hearing the brother Obstacle talk about teachers, and they could just invest in their TSAs and stuff like that and then live a good life. Most TSAs, you have to be at least 67 as a teacher and then retire and then try to enjoy whatever symbolism of life. Like as Tiff mentioned, those people let's use Walmart. You see a lot of older people that used to do teaching and stuff like that because now they're on fixed incomes and they can't keep up with inflation. Here's a big point that you're not pointing out. You're the top 1%. The top 1% don't give back. When Trump was in office, the top 1% got great rebates on taxes and things of that matter. That's why they didn't push and the Republicans backed off, because they are in that class as well. So you'll have no sympathy. And this is a country of capitalism. Someone is always meant to be poor. Someone is always meant to have more. We get that. But don't get up on your soapbox saying that you're doing for the common man with 2 loaves of bread and a sausage under each arm. Because there got to be a point where you wish to pay it forward. You got more money than you can use within your lifetime, and you already set up your trusts and generations for yours. Most of y'all won't do what one of the richest men in the world will do, such as yourself, Obstacle. You won't do what Bill Gates did. What is he doing with his fortune when he passes?
He was giving most of it away, from my understanding. I don't know his estate.
I digress.
When he passes, but what is he doing now? What is Microsoft doing right now?
Okay, so now they're branching out into Monsanto, other things. Oh, okay. And
what was Microsoft's fourth quarter earnings? What was Microsoft's fourth quarter earnings, bro? Like, this is insane, bro.
Okay,
Grandpa,
so
you're not watching the thing, but it's Angry Snowman's turn to talk. Hemp is motioning for him.
Well, since he brought up Walmart,
All right, real quick. I don't want to stifle the pardon me. I don't want to stifle the conversation. It's okay to have the back and forth. I was trying, and thank you, Sherelle, was doing a good job. I just want to make sure we understand we keep the cadence. So if it is a couple minutes of back and forth, Sherelle will be fine with understanding that if I'm not up here. But just generally, we want to respect who got the microphone next. Just generally speaking. So that's my fault for not being clear.
So who Sherelle, is it Angry?
Yeah, Angry Man.
Okay.
Angry Snowman.
So what I was saying was, since we're using Walmart as an example, I actually looked up while we were on here what the average age of a Walmart employee was. And they said that the average age, and this is all from wallstreetzen.com, said they state that the average age is 38 and a half years old of the person working at Walmart. Now, I see that, and I'm thinking, well, gee, when I was 38 years old, I was pretty far removed from Walmart and working minimum wage. So is this really a living wage issue and people not being able to make a living wage, or is this a people are just lazy issue and would rather work a minimum wage job because they ain't got to do so much and complain about stuff?
So
No, this.
wait.
I would say this is
We're doing order. We're in order. One, since you looked everything up, can you look and see if those are full-time or part-time employees? And with them being full-time employees, do they get the same benefits of someone in middle class having a 401k, social services, meaning they have insurance? Can you give me the ratio of that, the breakdown of how many are full-time?
I don't have the breakdown on as far as benefits and 401k, but it does say that the average employee works an average of 38.3 hours a week.
How many hours do you have to work to be full-time?
I think it's 36 or 37 in order for it to be full-time.
35 is a condition, and then after that,
So
yeah, 35 at the bottom.
Can you put the drop in the private chat where you're looking at the numbers for Walmart for me? Sherelle,
And then let's get Kelly in. Kelly, let's go.
It used to not even be like that. Those used to be teenage jobs.
Right, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah. Middle class was wiped out after that housing market. So that's what I thought in my lifetime anyway, was after the market crash and everything like that. The the teenagers and shit and the young adults were having a hard time getting jobs because the older people who lost their shit went over there. And a lot of people didn't get a chance to recover to the same position that they were before. That's just for my
I'm
memory.
going to set a new premise. Do anybody else want to follow up before I bring in a new premise?
I did want to double down on the point you made earlier. I think, what was it what you were expressing? You said the middle class was paying for the lower class and they weren't incentivized to work. Am I clear on that?
That's exactly where I'm going. So
Go ahead.
My thing is, within my idea, follow this. Nobody feeds the working man, right? We all have these feed the homeless programs to where we're incentivizing people who don't want to do anything to continue to not do anything. When we actually need to feed the stronger man, the working man, the man who's actually doing things. He needs to be on some type of sanction where he needs a break from paying his bills. He needs the help with the food, because if that's the worker, but he can barely afford groceries, or his rent is continuously being raised, while there's some lazy ass person sitting on Section 8 for the last 20 years, making sure that their rent stays $25. That's what's actually hurting us, is the fact that every time we talk, even when we talk about black men, what I hate about it is when they pander to us about the black people, they talk about us being in jail when they know that the majority of us not are in jail. So why are y'all getting us hyped up about some type of crime shit like we're all criminals? We're not. So the actual thing is that the fact that everybody continues to pander, like majority of black people are just lazy ass, don't want to work. We want to work at McDonald's, or we want McDonald's to pay us $25 an hour. It's actual bullshit. But those are the loud minority, and they're the ones who, McDonald's going to raise them $25 an hour, and it's actually going to hurt us who are tradesmen. We do have trades. We do have education systems, and it's actually hurting us every time we allow them to say we're going to pander to motherfuckers who want to make $30 an hour at McDonald's. Because they're not going to raise the nursing, they're not going to raise the prices, the shit for the CDL drivers or the welders or any of that, the electricians, they're not getting the raise, but we're going to pay the McDonald's workers $30 an hour. That's the problem, is that we're incentivizing the low people and we're starving the working man while feeding the homeless, who, i.e., want to fucking be homeless.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I read a book. It was called The Myth of Inequality. But what the book was basically getting at is, when you look at poverty, it's not tend to be like accounted into the amount of money that people get in benefits at the lower end of the economic scale. So here's all this additional support and, you could say surplus that they get redirected to them for housing benefits, food benefits, etc. And you can extend it. And that's not calculated. So they're like, look at my small income. And then it's like, okay, but we're not looking at all this extra support you're giving. Then when you take the middle class and you look at them, they don't receive those, so they don't qualify. And then at the face value, they're making more than you when you actually add the benefits and the transfers that they get through those programs. So it needs to be some cleanup for sure. I agree.
And Sherelle, just to add to that, can I ask a question? Why is it always, it seems to me to be the middle class and the lower class fighting about the idea that we can get what the rich person has? If there's social services that need to be had for citizens, and I think that that's my thing, is like, are there social services that we believe you're a United States citizen, this is just a basic right? Then adding on top of that, because it equalizes everybody. But I'm trying to understand, it's like, I feel like they have us picking at each other for the crumbs that are left.
No, I still gotta pay them taxes though.
Yeah,
every time
50% of income earners pay about 97% of all income in tax.
Every time
the top 50 is paying a lot in comparison to the bottom, which is
so
not paying
there are
most taxes
no
at all.
accountants that are making taxes, people not being able to pay, finding out laws. They're not workarounds.
The majority of the tax breaks are for people who have a very high threshold of income. Those who are benefiting from the tax breaks like that.
So we are, again, from the middle people and the people not paying, the person at the top is not putting what they need to put in.
No, they're putting a fair share. They're doing a lot of money.
Why aren't they, Tiff?
Look at the rates right here on the screen.
Look at this.
They're paying their fair
25%
share.
of your 25% of your income at $100,000.
How much it is between 48 and 22, I think?
But
And
let me say this, DJ Champ. What's the thing called? There's two things certain: death and taxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
People say that, right?
Yes, sir.
But the funny part is, taxes are not. You guys can reduce your tax obligations. The tax strategies, and they're available to even middle class. And it's not getting pregnant, or it's not having, getting married. That's not the only tax deductions you guys got. Everybody qualifies for the income, or the IRS code. But you just gotta learn it, guys. That's it. You learn these strategies. You could use the same strategies that the wealthy does. It doesn't say you have to have $50 million in order to reduce your tax obligation to the federal government. It does not say that. You can get capital gain deductions. You can get depreciation on your real estate and like I've done it. I've been broke. I wasn't born rich. I just found out the strategies, and then it was like, okay, government, you're no longer getting paid 30% because I understand the tax code, and I applied to it, and then I won. That's it.
Now the thing about it is, what I don't like about
the education shouldn't be the same. Why did you have to find out something that everybody should know? And I think that's where the disconnect is. If I have to find tax breaks or find how to manipulate the system is broke.
What?
Like, I can't.
That's capitalism. I think that's I think that's where capitalism jumps in. The
I was
fact
gonna
that you have to figure it out.
It's more of a crab in the barrel type of mentality where it's like you're the crab that makes it out, and then you turn around like, I made it out, so I know all them niggas can make it out. No,
no. Watch this. It was just funny. They were like, man, nobody, that's something we should know. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. But net, watch this. I'm turning around and saying, hey, slaves, come this way, underground this way. And y'all sitting up here telling me, nah, man, that ain't real. All of us can't make it out. And I'm like, bro, I was you. I'm showing you the plan. I'm planning. Okay, let me give you an example. I'm showing you how I had the financial liberty, how I made it through. And I'm telling you it's possible because I did it. I was you. So let me show you. Let me break it down with you. And then most people, like I said, I wish I could just go over the numbers, but the mindset is the thing that keep y'all trapped. Harriet Tubman said you'd be free if you knew you was a goddamn slave. So just know that you could change it by doing these methods. That's all I'm saying. Just learn these methods and follow them.
It's a system that didn't work, and she was freeing people because slavery was wrong, but it was very much legal.
Well, let's skip that. Let's just say I'm showing you financial plans. That was a bad example. It was a bad example. It was a bad example. Watch this.
No, Tiff, he's conceding the example.
Exactly. So listen, just follow these strategies. They're available to you. And I'm trying to show you there's a lot of people out here giving financial literacy information. That's all we're trying to do is help. And y'all telling us, shut up. We're wrong. We're stupid. We don't know what we're talking about. and all this other stuff. I'm a normal person.
I
I
don't-
know.
I don't
Nobody
think
called you. Nobody insulted you.
No, not you, not you
Oh.
specifically. Yeah.
I think depending upon how you were raised and what you believe your accountability is for yourself, some people leave out of the many, what is a few? I'm responsible for people. So I want to see people eat. And because that's how I feel, I will take my resources and do them however. That's fine. I think for me, I don't have a problem with people making money. I don't have a problem with people elevating themselves. My question is, at a federal level, what does the United States owe its citizens? And what should citizens, regardless of state, what should be statewide, countrywide? Because that's where we were, right? Because we keep talking.
We weren't there necessarily. We weren't there, Tiff. We weren't correlating back. These are different topics. So we were talking about what people pay specifically, and Sherelle was painting the premise that the middle class gets jerked on a lot of this shit. Because we still got to pay them taxes into those programs that she was naming specifically. So your premise sounds more socialist.
So
But
to that
it's the 1%.
point. Sorry, Cal.
Well, let Tiff finish. That I just want to make sure she understands where we are in the convo, and then she respond accordingly.
I hear you. I hear where you are. I'll let Kenny go.
Okay, so to that point that Tiff is pushing, this country is not incentivized in teaching you the fundamentals to build a proper financial house. If you have banking institutions that take your money and invest within major mutual funds and stocks that appreciate with great value, but they tell you, watch this, if you have $149,000.99, you're not a private client. Put $1 above it, I'll give you more perks rather than putting your money in those fundamental aspects to help your money grow. They put you in accounts. The majority of them have zero percentage value as for growth. They don't compound in your lifetime. Then you find those ones and you learn the rule of 72. You learn about mutual funds, how they've been making 11%, 10 cents on your dollar. You learn about these other things. People are not coming back to where we are and teaching us that on a whole. There is a minority of people that make it out, but watch what they do. They greedy asses. Everybody should get paid, but you always want to knock a man down, and you know where you go back to, they can't afford all of that. How are you paying it forward? I'm gonna set this up so that all y'all generationally can learn how to grow financially. Because in their situations, coming from where they are taught financial fundamentals. Most rich people won't tell you how to get it unless they're putting a dollar tag behind it, but they have enough money to keep generational wealth going eons past them. And I would real quick, and I'll close. Obstacle. How are you paying it forward within the community without looking for a service back, being that you're where you're at?
And so obstacles, another thing is, you're talking about those wealthy people. So let's just talk about it. The property houses are the same, which means they're not getting taught this in educational systems. So the schools that we're sending our children to, you can make $200,000. Also, the house next to you can be worth the same amount, but if he qualified his house for Section 8, who do you think is your neighbor? So who are your kids going to school with? Because Granville mom can do all that she can. His parents can do all that she can and make high earning and have him live in a good neighborhood. But he going to 3-5 with niggas that come out the project. And they're all getting the same education that his mom is paying for. His mom is getting taxed on the education system, and the education system is actually pandering more to the children who they want to just go from the prison to pipeline. That's what it is. Even though I'm middle class, even though I can make this money, my children still have to go to a school where they're going to school with low income children, because that's how much the barriers are closing in on us.
Oh, I see.
Because I make
the middle class.
Because of the tax, I can't pay for the private schooling for my children.
Yeah, your premise is the middle class, right?
So middle class kids are going to school with low class kids, and we're all getting the same education, which is shitty.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yo, shout out to
got
Kitty
a point.
But yeah, I get what you're saying, and for me, I don't charge nothing. You know, I'm here. I woke up. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning over here in Thailand. I'm retired. I've done well for myself, and I don't charge anybody for my obstacles, opportunity. I don't ask people. I tell people all my time, don't give me no super chat. Don't give me nothing. Put money in yourself. If you don't have a, Robinhood, Cash App, if you ain't bought a stock, don't give me nothing. Give yourself something because what am I? I'm preaching to you about doing this, and you can't even. You spending the money on me, but not on yourself. So it's like, nah. Get yourself economically secure, and if you got portfolio or passive income, then okay. If you want to turn around and give me $1 or so, I ain't tripping. I ain't gonna say no. But at the same time, I want you to put it in yourself first, because this information is free.
So
that's what I do, and then also on top of a lot of things that I did when I owned real estate. Go ahead, champ.
Well. I take issue with that. In just though.
But that's just me. I'm not saying everybody should follow that.
I hate free shit because niggas don't value it. If you did something for me, you would have to give me a number. It would have to be reciprocal in some way, shape, or form, because people don't take care of it when it's too free. I just, as an example, with the boxing shit. Everybody want to box till it's time to box, then they don't show up and all this other shit. Now I got to put a number on it so that they actually have skin in the game.
I get what you said. So let's say, I have a guy who's close to me. He just bought his first duplex, right? And then he was talking to me like, man, I'm gonna provide affordable housing, And so that's what he's doing, and he's helping his tenants or whatever. But net, he pays me because I do one-on-one with him. You see what I'm saying? So we go back and forth. I helped him through the loan process. There's a lot of issues there. So one-on-one. But the other information where I'm showing people charts and then showing them the mindset and showing them how to apply for programs where they can get the grant that Camilla says she's going to give me that's already available, then boom, that's for free.
Okay, touche. Yeah, I any information I have, I'm definitely willing to share it.
Okay,
if you want to go in depth, I would probably be like,
I ain't covering it up because the more let's say I put all y'all on and y'all become, let's say, 150,000 or a millionaire. At that point, next time I buy a property, I'm gonna tap y'all on the shoulder and you be like, yo, I got 500,000 to put up. So I ain't taking all the risk by myself. So again, most people conceive like wealth is something like, I'm gonna push you off. Yes, there are some people operating like that. But for the most part, if y'all end up getting money, and this is just investing, then that makes it easier for me when I go invest in partnership. That's what I learned about wealth. They work as a partnership in groups.
Okay, to what you said, Ham, you're not giving somebody something free. They got to sit down there and learn from your tutelage. How they pay you back is planting seeds and growing that garden. Then they proved you wrong. Not everybody is disciplined enough to sit there and learn the financial fundamentals. Obstacle know that well. Some people like, nah, that ain't for me, and they quit. The easiest thing they say about our people, we never finish what we start. When you teach somebody some financial fundamentals, this is how I got it out the mud. I came from here, now I got it. Those that sit down and are studious to what you're teaching, and then you watch those seeds grow.
Yeah.
Are they not paying you back?
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. I think based on that premise and what Ob said, I can see the point, because I'm definitely willing to impart wisdom in whatever it is I know, like 100%. So I think I understand the overall premise. People abuse that shit. Like when I just see it too often, people will waste your time, so often.
And then it's funny because most people relegate me to being like some superhero. I'm not, bro. I'm not smarter than y'all. I'm not like I didn't get good grades in school. It's just that I just was like, all right, cool. Let me learn this financial literacy and discipline myself, and then just follow this path. And then that's it. So when I turn back and spin the block to help some other people, like, yo, dog, y'all can get this too. Let me show y'all. I'm mostly battling the mindsets, and people perceive their limitations of what they can and cannot accomplish. I wish I could talk more about the finances, because that's the easy part. The hard part is right here, trying to get you right here so you could believe you could freaking do it, because most people be like, I can't, I'm middle class. They stopping me. The feds is after me. The Illuminati, the New World Order, the International Bank and Monetary Funds. And then I can't.
Damn.
I'm glad you said that. People are enslaved to their mindset. They're shackled by it. But I don't even think it's as advanced as wearing a tinfoil hat so much as it is just not having trust in anything other than what they know to have worked. And what works is that they have food on their table every day. People are risk averse in that way. They tend to not really want to take risks in something they understand as far as going just learning it, so that they can understand it, right? So it's tough to, especially in the middle class, people are working hard for their dollar bills. That's how they spend their time. So those dollar bills are so important to them, they could never perceive a world where they replace that dollar bill, even if it's with the promise of increasing the amount of dollar bills that you have. People are stuck that way. It's unfortunate, but I don't think it's their fault. I think it's the human condition being taken advantage of. I think it's the human resource being exploited by the ebbs and flows of capitalism.
Well, Callie had her hand up, and then Mr. Williams.
That's kind of where I was going to go with it, to tie it back to how the system does work against it. The system needs for there to be people at the bottom in order for it to work. It's not going to work if everybody has this extra free mobility to move up to the top. And if you did, then that would go back to, I know kind of Hemp don't want to, but it is still related. Whatever, that would go back to the inflation or whatever. The more money in circulation, that causes the value of the dollar to go down, and then you're going to increase prices. So there, it's all circular.
Mr. Williams?
The one thing that I have been talking about, or that we do not speak about in the middle class, is about budgeting. Mostly middle class, they spend money. They're trying to keep up with the Joneses. It's always about the look instead of budgeting your money. And we don't speak on that a lot. If you budget your money, you'll have it. And I say it from experience because I've been doing it since I was 25. My income was middle class at the time. I was 25 years old, house, car, kids. At 25, I was making $30,000 a year. But I budgeted my money. I saved my money so that way I could have properties. I was given a property, but I also had my own because that's what I worked for. But I budget my money. I didn't overspend. We don't talk about and teach that enough about budgeting, because even now we will spend so much money that's way more than our income. To be honest, that's why we're in debt, especially in the middle class. You're trying to keep it. You know how many people were owning $100,000 homes but had no furniture? You know why? Because they wanted to have the perception of, I have this big home, but yet you have no furniture. You're eating ramen noodles just to keep up. I'm saying back then, yes, even in the early 2000s, that's what people were doing. Yes, I got $100,000 home because, at that time, $100,000 home was important to a lot of people. That was the perception. But we don't get into the line of what do we spend on a daily basis. Now people are they're eating Uber Eats and they're doing all that. They're barely even going grocery shopping.
But what about people that are living check to check? And I think that's where I got it.
Hold that thought for me real quick, Tiff. You could jump right in.
Let me
read these. Let me just read these real quick. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Aaron with the $2 says, not this election, just to be clear. He's talking about this premise of this one. Salute to my brother Ray. Been a member for 10 months. Omega Dread. Omega Dread with the 20 ball says, here's some more debt-ridden bucks.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
CG with the $5 says, fun fact, Democrats have won the popular vote the last 4 elections. Reaper, what up though with the $10 says, there are different types of inflation, demand pull, cost push, but think of it in context, goods and services. Monetary supply can create inflation if it grows faster than economic output. Yep. Journey with the $10 says, good day, Hamp. This might be risky, and panel. Gotta love a good intellectual conversation. Indeed. Truth and Reality Undefeated with the $5. Instead of give me more, are y'all gonna talk about how they spend what they got? Them J's, bust down wigs, bottles, $100 nails, Beyonce / Usher shows.
Not the bust down wig, Brody.
Will with the 20 ball says the myth of American equality, quote unquote. His argument is the metrics utilized by the Census Bureau measuring poverty doesn't account for non-cash transfers such as Medicare, food stamps, refundable tax credits, etc. Yeah. Damn. That's a great point. Red Pill Ranger with the $5 says, how many cats party every weekend but don't have a single stock portfolio? Designer shoes, bags, eating out several times per week. Freeman's Journal with the $5 says, obstacles to opportunities has fruit on the tree. What about the rest of the panel? Let the boldly ignorant stay poor. Red Pill Ranger with the $2 says, in 2024, I don't know. In 2024, I don't know. Don't work. YouTube it. Man, I don't know, man. You got to be able to discern that information and break it down and understand it. And I think because you have things like Wikipedia as an example, anybody can post anything. So how do you know how to decipher through that information? I think we kind of got to go back to experts, people with experience, leaning on people to help us guide us. And then when we get it, we got it. You know? So I think there's still value there, but I understand the premise. $20 popping says salute to him and the panel. Great conversation with Kenny and Tiff. Y'all sound crazy. It's simple. If everybody is rich, nobody's rich. That's why they don't tell you how to get rich. That's your job. Get to the game called Red Pill Ranger with the $5 says the government shouldn't have to teach you anything. Exclamation point. We all have computers in our pockets. Sound like y'all want y'all butts wiped and backs rubbed. Jesus Christ. Oh, Gun with the $5 says Kenny and Tip are running for the first place in Victim Olympics. Unfortunately, in society we live in, there has to be a winners and losers. Tiff and Kenny, I want to respond to this.
So when I said I get it, because I'm not going to be long because I'm going to hop down, because I get what's happening for myself. One, I think a lot of assumptions are being made about people's economic status. I believe that for myself, I believe in taking care of society. I get that you're talking about middle class, and I think we're conflating the quote unquote working poor or people that are getting the social services, the people that need assistance. I can't do the whole this is free, do this, that whole LLC Twitter thing. I don't do that with people. You literally just said people have invested with folks and lost a lot of money. And yes, I do believe our education system should have economics in it. I do believe that we should be learning the tax system. I think we should be learning the law. I do believe that the citizens have a right to know how their government works.
Tiff, it makes a great sense. While they're still fighting to take Black history studies out of our educational system, they're not putting in the necessary fundamentals. You know, the people I work with speak to people like Playboy Will, who save their money, and then you accrue knowledge over time. And I'll give a personal testimony. 9/11, when I worked the Green Zone, from day one when the towers fell till 2 years up when they sealed, I was working 14 hours a day for 8 months. My checks were looking like $4,000 a week after tax. I did not have the financial wherewithal. I still got what I got from the communication companies I work with. But if I was able to have the financial wherewithal and put that into mutual funds and high yielding, you know, accounts that accrue over time, I'm supposed to be sitting on M's right now, but I'm not kicking myself or running in Victims Olympics. When Sandy came to the city, that's when I got my financial wherewithal and I got my licenses. Then I realized what that money was supposed to do. Now I reset. Now I'm ready. 28 years, then I could retire when I want to retire. Nobody can tell me when I want to retire. Understand? So I'm not running the Victim Olympics. But if I only think about me and I don't think about the people behind me and not paid for it, as for how they learn the structure of how to save properly. Don't keep your money in the house because it's not keeping up with inflation. Put yourself in qualified accounts Learn about the S&P 500. If you don't know it, walk in, find a financial advisor, find someone accredited with licenses, and take it slow. Say, talk to me like I'm a D student, but make sure I want to check your credentials and put me in a place because I want to get there. Where we come from, we don't trust people because everybody got a 3-card Monty and a hustle when you grow up in urban areas. So when this knowledge is presented, the majority of the times we be like, nah, I'm good. Because most people don't want to get hurt by things they don't understand. So I'm not running the Olympics. I'm good. I'm not good, but I'm better than I was before. How about that?
Go ahead,
bro. Sherelle.
He froze.
Sherelle.
She froze.
He froze. Yeah, no, Kenny, and cut me off, Sherelle, when you get back in. But yeah, no, Kenny, that's what I was saying. People really don't trust the information, right? But I also think it's irresponsible to just lean on the whole idea that we should save. Like, that's not the definition of budgeting, at least not successfully anyway. Really, the idea is ask yourself the question, not how much does something cost, but how much does it stand to make me? And saving money, I mean, while it has its advantages and purposes, the idea is to understand your asset to liability ratio, your debt to income, or your cash flow to expense ratio, and being able to leverage these things so that you can increase cash flow, you can increase assets, you can increase investments, understanding the difference between an asset and an investment, a liability, right? Budgeting, people look at budgeting and it's just saving, just reducing the amount of expenses in relationship to my income. And it stops there. And I think the conversation, if it goes beyond that, that's where you start to build confidence in systems actually being able to work.
Yeah,
Because just saving only makes you a slave to saving.
I'm in full agreement with you, but that's when you need someone with wherewithal that you can check their credits and see who they are, and then move forward, ask questions. If it makes sense, once you vet enough people, then apply it. But a lot of us aren't, because we all saying I'm good, and then life be lifing. And then you go by the information that you have and try to do the best with it, even though the information is present. Like I gave the example before to Hemp, most banks are not incentivized to show you how to put your stuff in high yields. When you have a certain amount, they pay more interest and want to give you white glove treatment. You understand? Why are they not doing that? But then you find out these saving banks are investing in high yield accounts. Obstacle knows this, and they're making billions every year. You understand? So
because
wait, so my money ain't good?
Now, on their budget sheet, it ain't, because if they got to pay you high interest rate, then they got to, on them, that's a liability. For you, that's an asset, but on their budget sheet, that's a liability. And so the more cash you just got sitting there, that's more of an asset they could use and leverage and blah, blah, blah. You know the game. But also, I don't think that makes them bad, Like, guys, I lived overseas for 20 years, and that's why I could look back at the market, in America at least, in our financial system, and say, wow, this is very nice. Because as Kenny said, you could walk into the bank and say, hey, man, I need some help. And then there's a doctor called a financial advisor that will financially look at you and say, okay, what do you have going on? How much money you got? You got any liabilities? Okay, this is the prescription. Let's put this much money because you can only afford this. And he works with you. I go to banks. I get Thai people to invest all the time. Thai people are making money now. They're doing things that they never did before. Their families crying, people buying properties. And the American dream could be exported. People are winning over here. And one of the things is they went to the bank and the bank was like, bro, Google that stuff. We ain't got nobody here like that. So a lot of places don't even have people who can actually give you that financial information. They just tell you, go to YouTube, figure it out. And you're like, bro, you're the bank. You selling the financial service. You can't tell me about it. And so we have a lot of things that are there in some infrastructure. So I would just want to point people in the right direction so they can get armed and informed.
So things are more easier said than done, right? So like I said, it's like within being the person who can make it out of a situation, I never look at it and be like, oh, I made it out. Everybody could make it out, because that's cap, right? I'm understanding that a lot of people are going to fall victim because we are seeing things when we're young, especially if you're coming from like an inner city as a Black person. People with the money that you can see are typically not even doing the right thing. Everybody has a CNA. Everybody's selling some type of drug. The men are selling drugs. The women are CNA. People are on Section 8. This is what we see. So just even trying to evolve from that mindset, it's the reason why people want to live in middle class and send their children to different things because they know that their environment that their kids are growing up has an impact on them. I think it's funny that we can say it's going to have a positive if they have two parents and they're coming from this good environment, they go to these good schools, but then you don't think that it'll have a negative impact on the opposite, because it does. But when we come up out of it, because I've been traveling the country for the last 7 years, when we come up out of what's just going on with Black people, because of course we have the Black tax. So even if we are this one who makes the most money in our family for the first time, we're the first millionaire, the first 100,000-aire, we're still taking care of our grandmothers, our parents, our siblings, everybody else short around us. So we're actually losing because we're more putting money into paying everybody else's things. This is an American issue. This is not a Black issue. I'm talking about white people. I have been to McDonald's and Walmart where there is no Black people. Those are white people working at McDonald's, Walmart, Family Dollars, all across this country. This is an American problem. It is not a Black issue. Americans are living check to check. Americans don't have $1,000 saved. It's more than just a Black issue. So I can say how we can be coming from our communities, but what's their excuse? This is an American shitting on all the middle class people across races.
And also, too, a funny fact about Asian Americans are actually doing extremely well. And it's actually just their saving and investing rate, which is around 35% plus of their annual income. They're serious on budgeting. And they're Americans, too. It's not like they're not Americans, they're aliens. They're Americans, too. But it's just a lot of things they do have.
Talk about the Asians because they're the super minority. Like, it's not a lot of Asians. Asians come from the richest countries. Their banks are the biggest. They're getting the most financial support. What's the biggest banks in the world? They're from Asia.
American.
The Asian banks are bigger. Go look at it.
I think
Apple company is worth $3 trillion. That's more than most Asian GDPs. The only Asian country that's actually, up there with us is China. That's it.
No, their banks, but their banks are the biggest. The way that they're fundamentally doing things is totally different. They're not American. Asians are the least assimilated Americans. They don't come here trying to assimilate into American culture. They're Asians. When they live in Chinatown, you go where they live in Chinatown, but they don't even think it's okay to speak American. They know about 10 American words. They're not assimilating into our culture, so they don't feel like they have to deal with American problems because they're coming here for a benefit, and that's it. So when we're talking about what's the American,
so it exists.
Sherelle, they do, but J.P. Morgan Chase and BOA is big.
The richest bank in the world is China.
Yeah.
It's Asian, right?
Yeah, China. No, you're good. But they big. They like 1.4 billion. So they're gonna have a bigger. They're not 1.4 billion.
Something we're missing about the conversation is when we're talking about middle class and the different classes, there are communities within these classes. So like you said, with the Asians or even Jews, they work together and we know how the circulation of their dollar works. So they're able to pull themselves out of poverty at a different rate than we are because we're more divided. We don't spend money with each other. So let's go to the Walmart example. You might have, you might be in a community where there are business owners. And if the lower class and the middle class are more inclined to shop with Walmart, the big rich conglomerate, the corporation, then those businesses that your neighbors have, they go down. Whereas if we start circulating our money around with each other the way the Asians do, because I can't say they don't shop at Walmart, but we know they shop with each other. Same with the Jews, even with the Latinos. I live in Georgia, and 10, 15 years ago, there weren't hella Asian banks around when I drove around. There are now. There weren't hella European banks. I saw a bank of the Kazakhs. Different people are building banks because they're circulating their money with each other in different aspects, in different markets and industries. So everybody is getting a taste of the pie, whereas with us, I make $1 million, I might be like, yo, bump y'all, I'm shopping at Gucci, Fendi, yada, yada, yada. But Sherelle, she makes her own clothes and Callie makes shoes. And I'm like, yo, I don't get no clout off of them shoes and them clothes, so I ain't shopping with them. Where if I actually work with them and I actually spend money with them the way them other communities do, I got a little clout with Sherelle, so I can say, yo, house burnt down, You know I'm gonna fuck with you. Let me get a couple pair of pants. Callie, let me get a pair of shoes. Family need a little fucking with. So if you fuck with me, I fuck with you back. Walmart ain't fucking with you like that. Walmart don't give a damn if your house just burnt down. Delta don't care if you got to get out the state because of a disaster or something going on. So that's a part of where we're missing the middle class conversation. Them upper class, them top billionaires, they talk to each other, they do deals with each other, they make money with each other and for each other. Whereas with us in the middle class and the lower class, we're so stuck on, like one of the people said, we buying everything that we don't need as opposed to looking within each other to find out how I can get ahead.
And I'll add Izzy too. Izzy, you got to also look at just assets, acquiring assets. You see what I'm saying? Like your main modem of actually creating some income or resources for yourself is only earned income. And earned income is not the creator of wealth, it's assets. So the only thing I'm adding to that is, hey, siphon off that money that you get from that company and buy a portion of assets. And over time, those assets will mature. And all y'all can do it. And it's all beneficial for the United States. It's not bad for all y'all to acquire some assets. And it's funny when we talk about like big equity and hedge fund and institutional money, the most funniest thing is most of the money is pension from teachers and firefighters. And it's just managed because you got to remember, how you going to get paid out money when you turn this age or when you retire? The fund ain't giving you back your money. They had to make a multiple, and they did that by investing in the market and buying assets. So it's like the most of the money is the people's money for work, at work for itself. So again, just buying assets, that's what I'm trying to get people to be familiar with so they could acquire it and open up that brokerage fund. So they're not like Kenny, when they get the money, they end up spending it in a certain way and they're like, dang, I should have bought some assets.
And you got to remember, your retirement is actually the money you had already put in, the money that you get taxed. So that determines the level of how much you'll get per month once you retire. That's another thing as well.
Yeah.
Let Kelly get in.
But you see how they be playing with folk? Those very same people who invested their money in them pensions and everything like that, they all got wiped out.
They're not playing. That's in the small print. That's in the fine print.
No, that wasn't the majority. Majority of the money didn't go wiped out. You talk about Bernie Madoff or something. Yeah, I mean,
oh, he was just lying. That's
different. You know, people get played. You can't create a life where nobody get played.
Well, I'm not talking
and he
about
went to jail.
Even if you didn't get played, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen that the market is going to crash. Just like how the market crashed the last time and wiped all them people's pension out because the banks was playing around the daggone stock market and then realized, and you know, they didn't have it. There wasn't shit backing up those goddamn assets. That's what happened, and the people got fucked.
So, Callie, your message is what?
My message is to this overall premise of this is all you have to do. And to the notion of the shaking your head like, no, the system is not doing anything to you. I said before, it has to have a bubble and burst cycle. You have to have people on the bottom in order for this whole thing to work, period.
Mm-hmm. So what are you saying? Don't risk it, stay at the bottom?
Do the best you can and get off that daggone hamster wheel and be trying to chase something that's end up gonna burst in your face. Everybody can't go, everybody ain't gonna make it.
Yeah. And do you see how, now let me ask you, if somebody characterized that as a defeatist mentality, would they be wrong?
I could see their point of view.
This is a perfect example of the mindset that I was talking about.
Basically.
Prevents people from getting in.
I haven't seen that shit blow up. I'm good. I'd rather be comfortable instead of chasing something.
No doubt. And so when the board comes out the way it comes out, then it comes out how people played it. I took risk and I lost money. Nobody asked me about the L's I took, but I dusted them off, didn't cry about Biden or Trump, and I decided I had to do for myself. That's it. I had nobody else had my back. And I damn sure didn't look at the government to do it for
me.
me.
Let me ask
But
a
I'm not
question.
gonna-
Let me ask a question.
Go ahead.
Not just to interject, right? Because I understand we definitely have examples where you could push through. If we live in paycheck to paycheck, what's so comfortable about that? That don't seem comfortable to me.
Well, that is a privilege, number one, though.
Depends
So you
on
got to
what
realize
lifestyle
it's
you
still
live
people live
what I'm
egg to
saying.
eggs, and mostly in the world. Like
But that's
people
what
are
I'm saying, though.
bartering eggs just to stay alive.
I think the comfort
But
comes from
at least
you
we
know
got a
this
paycheck.
area. My bad. I think the comfort comes in you know what this is. Like if you've never lived on the street, but you're comfortable living in a 1-bedroom, eating McDonald's every day, driving a beater. You know what I'm saying? That's paycheck to paycheck. I can maintain it. Especially if you have a job in the industry that you know likely won't shut down. There are some jobs there are certain companies in certain industries, you know they're set. They're good. They're not going anywhere. I don't care. So if this right here, if this little bit I got, like she said, I'm comfortable here. And see, that's what's preventing people from getting ahead, because I'm good where I'm at. As long as I can get me a little nookie every once in a while, eat what I want to eat. I don't got to eat steak. I don't got to eat this, that, and 3. I'm comfortable, but I'm still living paycheck to paycheck.
Okay.
And because I know this, this is what I'm going to maintain.
I
I'm not going to
understand.
try and get further.
People like the status quo in which they subscribe to.
Yeah.
Predictability. Yep.
Yeah.
Man, add on to that. Some people, like even with bad habits, if you're doing it long enough, it becomes part of your modus operandi, and you're unknowing that you're doing something that's divisive to you getting forward and progress. Like, stop smoking those cigarettes. Yeah, I'm gonna get to it. But you know, the long term, your lungs. I got
Not
you,
just
Callie.
that you can't budget because. Not just that you can't budget because
I wasn't taking
even
a
if-
shot. Just letting you know,
No,
Callie. I
you-
wasn't taking a shot.
No, but
That
you're
was
right,
just like
'cause
habit, force of habits.
But the paycheck, that ain't stupid. Like, even though I am where I am, it makes sense. Like, humans always forage, they barter, they beg, they barely survive to make it. So paycheck to paycheck is way comfortable, because if you come to Thailand or Africa, people are bartering eggs to eggs, melon to melon. It depends on what they sell. Every day they go out hoping that they can make a sale so they can feed themselves. And then that's how they live. There is no check. There's no big corporations. There's no jobs like that. They just got to go out here and figure out, I'm going to sell meat, noodles, what we going to do? And that's what they do. So net, a check to check is a way more comfortable space. And I get it, where people are just like, hey man, if I take a risk, I might be wiped out. Makes sense. Why would you do that? You almost got to seem kind of crazy to be like, I'm going to go against the grain.
But I don't give a fuck about Thailand or the majority of the continent, to be 100% honest, right? We dealing with first world problems. I get it, but we dealing with first world problems. So
exactly. So just remember that. That's what I'm saying.
I just hate. But I don't like the comparison. Oh, they doing this in Thailand. Give a fuck about that little corny ass island, right? I'm talking about the niggas over here living hard. How we characterize hard. That's what I'm on.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it to say like shut up or something like that. What I'm just showing you is the level of comfortability. So when you
but you saying it without saying it though. You saying like, well, y'all should be comfortable because at least it's not eggs to eggs.
No, I did not say that. That's not what I'm trying to say.
What I'm saying, I'm just this is what was said, right? So you saying they don't even have big corporations to live paycheck to paycheck. Paycheck to paycheck isn't bad because they bartering eggs and meat and noodles, right? So the comparison is like how it sounds is it could be a lot worse, i.e. like over here in Thailand. If you go home and tell my niggas that's around the way, yo, they bartering noodles in Thailand, they gonna beat you the fuck up out there because how they living is hard.
But I get what you're saying.
It's a lot of them though. You'd be surprised. But
yeah, well,
I've been beat up before.
The blicky is real, but go ahead.
But just in terms of like we minimizing what people going through, and I think we just have to deal with our people are going through, regardless of what they doing in Thailand.
Yeah, no, I get it, but I wasn't trying to use it like that. I was trying to use it in a way where we were asking a question about like Why do people, like you even said, but why are you comfortable with living paycheck to paycheck though? Is that really comfortable? So what I was just trying to say is like, yes, for humans in America, yes, it is. And then I gave an example, like, it's worse over here. So it's not crazy. It could be worse. And other people over here think it's cool too. They rather live like that. It's hard to get them to invest.
Yeah.
So again,
I
humans are
understand
just human. So they're in America, we're just saying,
I
yes.
can't let you get away from it. I know what you said. I regurgitated it. And I just don't like those comparisons of these other countries.
I got you.
Like, we got to be worried about what they doing. I don't got nothing to do with that. I just know that what the people are going through here is the things that I like to address without comparing them to everybody. We often get lost in the sauce of comparing. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to just addressing.
Let's block off the world in our instance. That's completely fine. And then, like I said, the middle class, these are the strategies that you could implement along with other things you have to do probably. This is not the only thing, but along with this is how you hack the American dream. This is how you hack your way into a property. These are the things that you say the rich aren't telling you. So I'm going to tell you now. Right? I don't know about back then, but now we have the age of information and technology, and we can move and disseminate this information. So when people are saying, what are you doing? Look, there's some forces out there that's trying to change the school system, and salutes to them. If you know of a good one, I'll donate. But I also got my thing going on that I got control over, which is, hey, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to get on this airway, create my own media around this, and provide that financial information for people who want it, and then stare. Because other airways are not going to do that. They're going to give you booty shaking and all that other stuff. Cool. I'm not here to, police them. I'm here to just do what I can. And that's it. When I pass away, that's it. I did what I did. I did the best I can, supplied the information, and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, no, 100%. Was anybody else want to get in?
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Hamp. We can't, using other people. Look, you got to understand your audience, right? And they have their own limitations in their mind, and those are the ones you have to defeat. So rather than approaching them saying, "Listen, there are people with less that can do more and have done more because they were willing to take the risk," people aren't going to look at that and give a shit. What people will have to understand is, if you take this risk, there's a reduced chance that you will fall below where you are currently. That's how you build trust. People have to understand that it won't have a negative impact on them. Forget about what people that have less have done. They don't care about that. They don't want to see them following your advice resulting in them being in a worse situation than they were before they got to your advice. And you do that in ways where you say, like, all right, there's protections you can put in place. You have a 401k, great. Did you know that's an investment vehicle you can use to invest in real estate as well? The amount of the contribution that you can put into your 401k is capped at about $20,000 between you and your employee. But if you have a certain amount, in your 401k, you can take that out, be your own bank, essentially. Take that out, invest it in a property to be, purchased, fixed, flipped, and sold, and come back to your account with $100,000. Now that goes beyond the contribution cap at $20,000 because it's an ROI. It's not a contribution to the principal. Not only that, you can pay back everything except the loan you took out, and you can feed that loan over time because there's interest on the loan. But where's that interest go? To your account. The interest is paid to you, not some other bank. Now, what's the difference here?
Exactly.
Right now, your 401k is wrapped up in a market that could potentially crash. And when and if it does, now we're talking about what Callie said, people lose. But when you buy into a piece of real estate, what's the one thing that everybody does to a house? They buy insurance. So if your deal goes upside down or something, if that house bursts into flames, you have an insurance company that's liable to pay you back or at least make sure you're made whole. Now, there's a lot of paperwork involved with this, but what you're doing is essentially building confidence in someone's that their risk that they are about to take is supported by some fail safes that are woven inherently into whatever it is you're suggesting that they do.
Can I get in?
Aaron,
you said the company match you too, right? You said the company match you in that 401k?
Can I?
Yeah, but that's the annual contribution. What the
but they
country
match
matches
you, right?
is capped. Right. I'm talking about a return on the investment.
Shout outs, I got you. But shout outs to the corporation for matching you on that too.
Oh well, there
That's
you go. Right,
100%
that's another
gain.
conversation. No, there you go.
Right, yeah. But go ahead.
But
go
what
ahead.
I was saying towards what Hemp is saying is I just feel like it's very disingenuous to bring up the third world countries because we wasn't gifted a first world country. No, we built it. So this whole idea of trying to make it seem like Americans are generationally just lazy, how? And we're keeping it running. This isn't just a magical place. People have fought, wars, died, built bridges, everything. And the people who are building your infrastructure, the people who actually are making this place a first world country are the main people suffering. Y'all always want to bring it to the lowest of the low, like people aren't working. We fucking make America what it is, the people. And y'all are shitting on the people who make America great. Corporations are stomping on the Americans who make America great. We wasn't gifted a first world country. Our grandfathers, they built this bitch. Brick by brick, hand by hand, and we're still putting our time in. We're still clocking in every week. Working 10, 12, 14 hours, 40 hours a week, the majority of us, and then we're working overtime. We still putting our blood, sweat, and tears into this nation to make this nation a first world country, not the corporations.
Well, no, I would say in
what are
conjunction with the
gonna be
corporations.
if nobody show up to work? The ports just striked. If nobody show up to work, what is your corporation?
Yeah, and then what are you without the corporation? So I think it's a two-way street. We get caught up in our image and ego as the people. It's a two-way street. Without the corporation, you wouldn't have no goddamn port. What you mean? Who made the investment? Y'all didn't come together as a tribe and build railroads. So it's in conjunction with those people who end up building our industries. It's in conjunction with them. Y'all working as a group. You signed the contract. That's the agreement. So again, it's both people. I think we get in like, man, without us, it'll be nothing. And also without those people, it'll be nothing.
Listen, people could do it
So it's
without.
a two-way street.
We could do it without the corporations. The corporations can't do
Then
it. Then
do it. Do it
We
then.
can do it without them.
But it can't be done.
Mindset that people are missing. That's actually the problematic mindset. Is the fact that we think that we need them when they the
Y'all
ones
do.
they need us.
We need each other.
The
We need each
1%.
other.
If 1% of y'all just disappeared, we would figure it the fuck out. If all of us disappeared, y'all would be
Y'all was
lost.
about to fight over toilet paper during the pandemic. Y'all need the actual
because of the pandemic that y'all set up.
Okay, so
Running around in fucking circles.
the impasse in the road is why it was mentioned earlier, why whites are able to group together and grow. Asians are able to group together and grow, and those other ethnicities are able to pile their money. You look at Latinos that come to this country, they live 30 in one house, and then they start buying houses and work as a community. One of the biggest things taught to me is that we lack unity, and that comes back from, maybe I'm touching Francis Cress Wilson's book, that we never healed since we've been over here. We've been taught and stuck in a position where we are built to mistrust and live in worlds of divide and conquer. We stay in that same bucket of crab and barrel mentality, and then we never address it. So we have conversations where we are here. Sherelle is 100% right. We were bought over here as labor, built this country on free labor. There's people that made multitudes of money. There's generational wealth off our backs, our blood. Got it. But what do we do now? When given an opportunity, and we put somebody as the pastor as for teaching us certain things, they fail us miserably. So then we regress more rather than seeking a part where we could work, because if we're unified, nothing could stop us.
Sherelle, go ahead.
Not to mention, these people are coming from.
Hold on, bro. Let me hold 1 second. 1 second. I just don't know. I can't see. It's blurry.
It's Ricky.
Yeah. Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear y'all. What's up, pound?
Oh, what's popping? I can't see you. You blurry as hell. What's goody? How you?
Man, I'm alive, man.
Indeed, good to see you, man. You can get in as soon as Sherelle finish, man.
So my thing is, I think what we miss is there's Asians working in sweatshops. Like all of these places and these people that we big up when they come to America, they're poor people where they come from too. They're coming to America for the better things. So I think we always miss that about the working together. But like I said, it's an American issue. Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That's white and everything else. One thing about it is you're never going to a Popeyes where they're all Asian. You are never going to go to a Walmart where everybody in Walmart is Asian. Asians, the only place you're going to find a bunch of Asians working is at an Asian restaurant or an Asian nail shop or an Asian. They only work with and for each other. They live in the neighborhoods. They do not speak your language. Them motherfuckers is not assimilating. That is the reason. They don't need a reason to assimilate because they have a culture in a country that they can tie their shit to. This is our country. There is no assimilation. This is our way of life. This is all we know. This is all we are. So it's just disingenuous to keep on comparing ourselves to people who are totally different than us. We need to be working on what our just do is here.
Which is financial literacy and a bunch of other things.
Man.
But y'all just don't want to swallow the pill. I don't know I could just be like, you know what? Yeah, I need to fix that too, in conjunction with anything else y'all got. What I'm saying is some other conversations too. That's just one.
Everybody's not good.
Because they're working for each other. So if all black people decide to say, we're not working for any major corporations, we're only going to get shit and work with each other. Yeah, then we would fuck the game up.
Wow.
I see what you're trying to convey.
This shit is a monopoly game where the bank is cheating. This shit is really a monopoly game where the bank is cheating. Like, as soon as folks understand, like, it don't matter if the motherfucker paid you $1,000 an hour, because if they willing to pay you $1,000 an hour, then they willing to pay you $100,000 an hour. Like, when you understand that, and if anybody on here watched The Walking Dead, I like that show because it's a reflection of real life. My boy Negan on there said the shit the best. People are a resource, bro. Like, people are a resource. And that's real life. Fuck a apocalypse and some zombies and shit. That's really real life, bro. Until people understand that we are the shit that makes the system, we ain't gonna get ahead. And the only thing holding us back, well, it's a couple things, but the only thing holding the black community back for real is niggas is too focused on looking in the past at some slavery shit and willing to take the easy cop out. It's built-in excuse. And niggas don't got no control of their money. Like, if niggas knew what to do with their money, like, we could be so much further, like. And this coming from a ex-street nigga who made it. Like, you dig what I'm saying? Like, I was in the mix. But when folks learn financial literacy, that take the chains off of your brain. Like, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, you kind of say you can make it if you try.
Yeah, but you gotta also know your limitations. A team only as good as its limits. Like, and it ain't no iron team. And we, as the alleged supposed to be 13%, nigga, we playing eyeball. We ain't playing no fucking wee ball or no team ball. Like, nigga, you come in the hood, bro. You got engineers, bro. You got scientists in the fucking hood. Nigga, cooking crack is a science, my nigga. Like, I'm just, no, like, if you really boil this shit down to just simple, just what it is, like, nigga, that it's a science to that shit. Knowing how to cut your shit is a science, my nigga. Like, nigga, we got scientists and engineers in the hood everywhere. Nigga, we got security forces. We got a military in the fucking hood. Nigga, we our own military. We keep looking for a handout from a motherfucker. Like, I can't get with that, bro. Like, I ain't for no excuses, bro. Like, my folks came over this motherfucker with nothing. Was in them internment camps, like in the 60s, like.
Yeah, I think we misconstrued the violence for military tactics. That ain't what that is. Them niggas with no discipline, running around shooting each other for the same square footage, selling dope, cutting it with nail polish, getting niggas sick, niggas overdose. That ain't engineering. That ain't science, mathematics. That it's easy. It's easy to hit it with baking soda, right? I understand it, and I know what it does and does not entail. And so, what niggas was doing outside ain't no military tactic.
And yeah, now compare that to people creating nitroglycerin, and now you see what you up against.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop real quick. I'm gonna bring up. Sure, I'm gonna bring up. I'll bring up Mr. Fantastic real quick. I'm gonna go down.
And what I would say is that y'all when y'all talk, y'all always talk about how y'all win within the system. The system is never going to be designed for everybody to win within the system. So your message is always going to be able to gravitate a few winners within the system. What I'm telling you is the same people that built this system have the power to tear it the fuck down. And as long as y'all do not understand that y'all who are building the system are the only ones with the actual power to change the system. If you believe you can't change the system, you just got to figure it out, a way to exist within it. Nothing is going to change. But
What's the system? What's the system that you're saying that could work?
Within the system. In a capitalistic system,
No. I'm saying what is the system you saying that will work, right? Because obviously you're saying this system's not working. What's your idea on that system that will work and see the world in which you say should exist in the United States of America? What is it?
I don't even know.
See, there we go.
Family.
So you talked about earlier,
I think
we don't even know where the new world is, but we just know.
I think that
Go ahead.
Me personally,
Yeah,
I think
go
we
ahead.
should focus more on growing our own food. I think we should focus more on teaching our own children. I don't think that we should put our children in school systems. I think we should homeschool our own children. I think we should be more focused on buying land and practicing group economics. More than we need to live in some mansion and everything, we need to be more focused on that. We need to be more focused on the fact that a man that works with his hands, you teach a man how to fish, he know how to fish, instead of going to the market trying to get some fish. And today the fish $5 and next week the fish is $50 fucking. We need to learn how to fish. Because since we decided to give up what we can do for ourselves and put our trust inside the system, every time they decide they want to switch some shit up, we can't do nothing but oblige. We took our self-sufficiency and gave it to the government.
Yeah, so
We
shout out to
expect them
everybody.
to pay our bills and feed us and educate our children, and we losing because of that.
Well, hold on, Sherelle. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody. Come.
What's up, champ? What's up, champ?
Y'all got it. So Sherelle, again, we speak as if the minority is the majority. No, the minority of people depend on the government for them to survive. Those people are like, you know what I'm saying? Nationally, it's like 12%, and black people's like 28% or something, right? So even as high as it is, it's still, you know, a minority of the people. The problem and the issue is all the stuff you said. That's the definition of being a nigga. But he just got up here and said the craziest shit, and nobody was like, "Yo, bro, get the fuck out of here." He said, "Pay $1,000 an hour." Then he said $100,000 an hour, bro. What? Like, what do we say? What we like? We don't even.
No, but I'm not talking.
Hold on. We don't even call out the blatantly just ridiculous and like economically impossible bullshit. You should like this. Like, nigga, stop. Like, what are we doing? But again, because you bring the niggonomics into it, everybody got to, you niggas don't care. You always got to fucking give an analogy or some street shit. You know what I mean? And also shit. And I heard him, you know, he said the part or whatever where he was, you know, chastising the morality of it. But just the fact of the matter that, Sherelle, until we get to that point of where niggas is like, yo, sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. If you're not an economist, if you're not a historian, if you're not somebody that has, like, you know what I mean, in the system, the problem with us is we look at all this shit and you niggas, and then I hate this, bro. Please, if you've never been in the military, bro, stop talking about you niggas don't know shit about the military. Stop. You have no idea. Y'all love over street soldiers and this. No, nigga. The main issue and problem that's wrong with the streets is there is no rank. There is no respect of fucking authority.
When you say folks don't know about the military, be specific as to who you talking about, because my whole family served in the military from fucking.
Did you?
No, I didn't.
All right, then. So you don't bring it up. Let your family talk about it, not you.
No. So I'm qualified to know what.
No,
I'm
you're
talking
not. I'm gonna say it again. I asked you the question for a reason. You disqualified yourself. You only know by the second hand, bro. You only know second hand information that's given to you from people that put in the pain, that put in the work. Okay? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And it's blatantly obvious. It's blatantly obvious when you associate military with street niggas. Completely, totally opposite. A street nigga will cross you and shoot you in your back. Shoot you in your back over what? Not even a bag.
Listen, what I'm saying. You conflating what I'm saying, and you took it and just ran with it. You ain't understand where I was going with it, bro. The same way our street niggas is in the hood shooting up, nigga. If you teach them and you mold them, nigga, they can be our military, nigga. The problem is we got too many house niggas begging to be part of a rigged game, nigga. It's like how the Negro Leagues was. Y'all niggas, we got our own shit. We making 100% profit of our own money. Yeah, it's not as much as the MLB, but nigga, we folded our own company, quit making 100% of our own shit to come and join forces with your punk ass, nigga, and get crumbs.
Okay,
so really won? And then you got
that's another.
Niggas don't own shit. Like,
so you're wrong again. So you're wrong again. You're wrong again, and again, clearly again, this is what I talked about, and I'm glad when people like you speak, because you give all the examples of what we're saying. You're going by what you heard, not how actually fuck it was. Bro, the reason why the fucking Negro League and the ABA and whatever the other fucking football league or whatever it was, it's called motherfucking capitalism, economics, and just go ahead, bro.
It's simply called, nigga, you chose the money. Ain't nobody
didn't have a choice
and make you sign nothing. A motherfucker can't come to my house right now.
You don't have to.
None of the 6 houses I own.
You don't have to. You don't have to. So what are you gonna do? So all right. So when they shut the Negro, so hold on, wait. So they shut the Negro League down because the MLB pretty much forced them out of the out of the market, out of the baseball market. That's what happened, right?
I know my grandfather.
Hold on. You shut the Negro League down. So, the Negro League. So now you just don't play baseball no more, or you play for fun for free in people's backyard.
You start your own shit. That's the power and the beauty of capitalism, my nigga. The money they gave you, the money that you took, and that you got paid to shut your shit down, to shut your gambling house down, or shut your trap down, or however you want to make it to put it.
Yeah, we go to trap.
You take that and you reinvest it. That house that you got paid $50,000 for, that was a piece of shit. You take that money and you reinvest it into your
invested in what?
You keep making your own shit. The same way like how Dame Dash did it, nigga. He got played out of the one clothing line, nigga. He went and made some whole other new shit.
And that shit was trash and nobody bought it.
He wasn't
okay. So if listen, you only tell a part of the story. So when you take this money, hold on. So is there such thing as a bad investment?
Huh?
Is there such thing as a bad investment?
Yeah, but a bad.
All right. So everything you just said, brother, are bad investments. You're gonna go broke anyway. So that's the reason why people participate with the established thing that's better, that can make them money. Again, even in you went back to the trap, brother. The trap is a fucking poison and a detriment to the hood. Why?
So you missed everything I said before that.
No, I heard it. I addressed that. If you're a good listener, brother, if you're a good listener, I addressed the trap part last. I addressed the other part and I left the trap. I came back to that. So clearly, I heard what you talked about. I didn't start off talking about the thing you said about the trap. I say that for last to make a point. You cannot get out of the mind of the street, bro. You're not going to make it. You're not on the level. This shit is not. There are no motherfucking boardroom fucking pookies like that, bro. Stringer Bell was a pretend character for a reason. Now there are onesie twosies. They're going to be the 0.000 something percent of the nigga that the 50 cents of the world. Niggas out here slanging and banging and selling rocks, and you turn into a fucking, you know, multi-millionaire, billionaire. Cool, fine. All right. But why do we always have to make the lottery fucking ticket number, the magic lottery ticket number, like the aspirations about the way of doing the shit? The reason why niggas is losing is because niggas don't understand the game is a game and you gotta play it to fucking win like everybody else does. Asians ain't talking about stepping outside the game and motherfucking making their own, and then no, they fucking dominate within it. People from Israel, same thing. People from Israel not talking about making their own game and playing on their own. No, you work together and you dominate from within it. And that's what niggas refuse to do because y'all want to make excuses for the white man and the government. All that expression, it's irrelevant.
But fantastic. Those people are not. They're working within the system, but they're not working for the system. We're for the system. Like I said, you're not going to any place and seeing a bunch of Asians, but within the shit that they own. You're not. What restaurant have you been to where everybody in the restaurant?
No, I told you, Mexicans cook the best Chinese food. I told you that, Sherelle. I already know this.
But if you go, how many restaurants have you been to where it's not owned by black people, but everybody that working there is a black person?
Where you eat.
Most 99% of every damn where you gonna go.
House not black owned. What the fuck?
Well, no. Well, listen.
All of these restaurants we go to New Orleans. All the restaurants. Who you think cooking? Who you think washing the dishes? Who is serving you? Black people. Who's making the most money from these restaurants? Some fucking body else.
Hey, Sherelle, look at spots like Joe's Crab Shack where I live here in Pittsburgh. Nigga, they just closed it down. Now, it's full of black folk. Like, and I'm quite sure you go to any Joe Crab Shack in the fucking continental United States, niggas gonna be full of niggas predominantly serving you, cooking and doing the majority of the labor work. But a whole ass white boy on this shit. But niggas are talking about how we ain't got shit. But got on a pair of $600 Jordans. Like, I can't understand it, bro. Like, you talking to a successful street nigga, bro. Like, a ex-street nigga, bro. Like, I made it. Like, I'm part of the exception. I'm not the rule. I'm the exception.
Okay, but
the exception. So I'm telling
brother,
you,
I wouldn't want you to be toting that on public media.
Bro, I done been in.
He ain't showing his face.
I done been grabbing everything for my shit, bro. I'm legit now, bro. That's why I said extra nigga.
But yeah. I get it. But also too, look, black. Look, if you want me to talk to straight black people, whatever. Okay, this is the deal. You guys can buy whatever you want. America's for sale. A lot of things in it is for sale, and you can own it. So whether you're moving like the Chinese and they bought America, what people complain about today, like, oh, they buying up our land. They shouldn't be buying these lands. So you could buy it. You could buy the land. You could buy the stocks. You could own any companies you want to own. Imagine if since we're an imaginary world and we're all supposed to come to unity, and we ain't never did that since the continent. Let's imagine that we come to unity now. And all the NBA and NFL players come together and they buy up parts of the league and they buy. So you could do whatever you want with your money and you could buy up these things that are for sale. So y'all always talk about these groups. I lived in Israel. I worked with the partners and we built the firm from 0 to 100 million within the first year. And I'm telling you, it's just financial literacy. That's it. They were using money, using banks. They knew the strategies. They invested in real estate. And that's it. It's no magic. It's no miracle. And then some people out there aren't doing that. Some Israelis out there just asking for Social Security. But net, some are really out there doing the work and making it happen. So you guys can do it too. But as soon as I say, this is the economics, then we get, the system's rigged. And if we go back to the Kunte Kinte African ways, then, we really rise up like Wakanda and we find vibranium. And it's like, come on, man. So that's y'all problem. You're always going to Wakanda. Deal with what you got right here, right now, America.
Do you agree?
Let me throw this in the conversation. So when I was doing UPS, I was working with a driver. We were driving through this Jewish neighborhood, dropping off packages. The whole thing was Jewish. So we dropped off some packages at the house, and the driver was pretty much telling me, that house used to be smaller, but the parents gave it to the kids. The kids tore it down, built it up, made it a 2-story, yada, yada, yada. So we end up going to this school. Jews got their own school. I don't know if I seen any black folks, but it was strictly Jewish. You know what I'm saying? And that was like the elementary through maybe middle school. So it was secure as a bitch, all that good shit. So we go next door. Next door, we drop off a package, and I see old Jewish men teaching the young Jewish men out of like scrolls, literal scrolls, not books, nigga, scrolls. So what we gotta converse about this whole division and all that stuff, we have to create the system like Fantastic was saying. We have to learn how to work within the system. These Jews, they have their own education system. They have their own labor system. If you talk about like technology, we know that the Indians are going crazy with technology right now. They pretty much running over everybody. Technology is a big industry that a lot of people can get into, but they're trying to corner that market. They're trying to take over that shit. Until we understand where we want to be in the system and how to play within the system and how to make ourselves progress within the system, it don't matter, because we talking about money, but you have to have labor along with that. You got to have some kind of educational system along with that. There's a lot that goes into a lot of these communities actually being where they are. And granted, like you said, everybody ain't doing great.
That was funny, right?
I love that. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, that was my thing. So
can we get Callie in?
I was gonna add obstacles. Would you agree that in order for this system to work, it has to have people at the bottom?
Do I agree that it has to be like that? No.
Yeah, it has to. Because we're in a capitalist society. There's always got to be a working class and a supervisory class.
The economy wouldn't function if there was no one in debt. We have a debt-based economy. Our money does not.
Well, that is not bad.
No, it's not. But
if no one, right?
If no one,
hold on, stop, hold on. Obstacles.
Go ahead.
Debt isn't bad, but the majority of debt Americans hold is bad.
Yeah, it's bad, super bad, right?
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree that
it's living a lifestyle, and I'm not, whatever it may be, high or low. But no, I don't think, Singapore is a capitalist. Well, we don't care about other countries. So again, if we just stick to our bases, right? And we just follow on our own economics. No, guys, no. I ain't gotta lose. But if you want to believe that, go ahead. Shoot, I ain't stopping you from being a loser. If you want to believe, you got to lose. Because there's a big system filled with Illuminati and puppets and evil practitioners.
No, sir.
I'm
no,
exaggerating.
sir.
I'm exaggerating a bit.
Yeah, okay.
But
all right.
I'm spicing it up. All right, let me spice it up. God, dang it. All right.
No, because you're building a false premise at this point.
No, okay, let me bring this one. With Callie smoking a blunt, right? And somebody talking about people who selling crack are engineers. If you want to listen to that and say that's the system that's holding you back and we can't win, then have at it. But what I'm saying is, hey, look, guys, I got financial literacy. That was from the real plan. Okay, good. But hey, I got financial literacy. You guys can invest. You guys can be comfortable. And this is how you do it. You want to move from check to check. Most people don't be like, I'm trying to become a billionaire. Everybody ain't on that. So everybody not even trying to reach that goal. They're trying to be comfortable, right? Am I wrong?
Can I ask a question?
And that's what she said real quick, Tiff. That's
all I'm saying.
You haven't said anything, Kenny. Wow. The them, they. Are you guys, do you identify as a black person? Because who's the they that's not doing it?
Identify as American, period. I stand on that. You can define me as you want. I'm a United States citizen, period. I stand on that.
Okay, that's fine. So if you believe everything in America is great, why are you living in Thailand? Like, why are you not here stimulating the economy? Why are your money not? Shouldn't you be? I'm asking.
See, that's the exactly, and that's a good question.
No, I'm just
yeah,
asking.
exactly. Go ahead. Before I answer, go ahead.
Just because he lives in Thailand. Hold on, stop. Just because he lives in Thailand doesn't mean his assets and holdings aren't in America.
Let's go.
That doesn't mean he's not day traded. He's not currency exchanging his money.
So more than people who talk on here and virtue signal.
My question was,
that's
insane. Them, they, them. Who is the they in the them that you're talking about? Because are you talking about Americans? Or are you talking about Black Americans? Because you said they quite a few times. Who is the they that you?
But also, who's the they that's stopping you? Who's the system?
Did I say
now? Again, no, people. I'm talking to the conversation. You might personalize it, like we're having only just a one-on-one, but it's everybody else, and over the span of 3 hours. So net, yes, I still have my holdings in the United States of America. I still invest in properties, industrial properties, helping small businesses function. My name is out there. Check my LinkedIn profile. Like it's there, it's solidified. So my money's still there. I still love America because it's at that economic mobility and that opportunity for people. So my money's still heavily invested there. I don't have to be there physically in presence in order to be valued. So, but going back to the main conversation,
real quick.
Go ahead.
Put your link in the back chat so I can get it.
Or are you talking
I got you, Kenny.
to Americans? So are you saying you're
Go ahead.
talking to Americans or Black Americans? That's all I want.
I'm talking to Americans when we say we can do it, because just like C said,
No,
everybody hurting.
I said okay.
Everybody hurting.
He called me C.
Yeah, my bad. Because I was like, if I said that was
And
so
my name is Sherelle.
Sherelle. Sorry about that.
DJ
Thanks, Sherelle.
Hamp, not Champ. It's a H-A-M-P, Hamp.
But it doesn't bear out in the data. It doesn't reflect that, because although it might be cheaper as far as cost of living abroad, if I wasn't a single father of a child under 10, I would be living abroad. Like like the tax rates and all that it's a little bit cheaper, but it bites you in the ass in the long run. You get it on the back end. But with that being said, yes, you get it on the back end. You either pay it up front or you get it on the back end.
Bro, no.
What?
Brother,
I mean,
no, brother, no. Just no. But whoever about to say something, go ahead.
I was gonna say, before we get all the way off the freeway, the fact that he can't even recognize that this system works only if there is a bottom class, everybody ain't gonna move up.
Okay.
That shit is wild to me.
Okay, so yes, Callie is right. There will be people that will struggle at the bottom because they don't understand one thing. Most motherfuckers incur interest instead of recurring interest, and that's your fucking problems right there, and that's why there'll always be a bottom.
And it's a free choice.
There'll always be people at the bottom because you need the workers.
Watch this, and they're free to do that too.
Capitalistic system, it is like a pyramid. Have you ever seen a pyramid that's thick at the top?
No, I'm not saying. I'm not
so
saying
what I'm just saying is,
that's.
But remember, what nation do you want to build? And you said you wanted to get back to the roots of people learning how to fish and learning how to hunt and educating their own children. Okay, cool. Build that nation out, and then do that.
They're gonna have.
But to say, hey, stop doing capitalism because I got this tribal joints going on that's gonna work. Okay, I'm not saying you're wrong, but
just two things. So, y'all, this might be risky, right? So, the Bible says what? Two things: the poor will always be with you, and money solves all things. Okay, so y'all speaking from the point. I think we're talking about something that's evident in any system, be it capitalism, be it communism, be it whatever, even a barter system, right? You're going to have someone at the lower class. You're going to have someone at the top. Because you're going to have someone that's exceptionally good or has a product that people just cannot compete with. And it all breaks down to the same premise. So what obstacles, I'm not going to say what he's saying. Basically what he's saying is, yes, you're going to have those people, but we always speak from the point of where it has to be a large amount or the major majority. The reason why is that is because those people, for the most part, do not apply to get out of being at the bottom. Not y'all. People in California, what do? We need a livable wage, right? They felt like everybody that's, burger flippers and fry dumpers need to get $20 an hour. What do? You give the people what they want, and now you just take away all the fucking jobs. Because, again, you don't understand economics. The problem with shit now is it's economics, man. It's not motherfucking emotions, okay? It's not motherfucking emotionomics. It's not fucking niggonomics. The formula for the shit has been here for quite some time. It's available to all of us. All right, you can literally get online. You can get it for free. You can pay for it. You can watch fucking YouTube videos and become expert fucking economist for absolutely free. Hell, I don't know if Harvard's still doing it. I think Harvard was offering a free economics class at some point in time. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think they are. I was looking into that a couple months ago. I think they are.
Yeah, they've been doing that for years. So the problem with us, and I'm saying us, black people, quote unquote, niggas, is that motherfuckers would rather be fucking social media famous, right? And get their tax return and ball out. And ain't no point in buying no house because whatever. But now your ass motherfucker 67 years old in a fucking apartment and you ain't got there is no generational wealth because you ain't got no house to pass down. The richest fucking way, the number one way of becoming rich in America has always been what? Not the fucking stock market, not business, real estate. Real estate
and sales.
Yeah, real estate is
real estate. Hey, I don't know what you're saying for. That's the fucking facts.
It's like
real
300
estate.
trillion.
Not for the normal people. The housing
and
market.
Big Mama, that's bullshit. Granville again. Granville.
Hold on. You
Granville.
gonna tell me bullshit?
Just yeah, I'm telling you bullshit. And I'm finna explain to you why. Big Mama them done paid their house off, done left it to the fucking kids, and the kids won't pay $2,000 in a year
in property
to keep the fucking taxes up on it. Now Pedro and Maria done bought it up, and now y'all complaining about gentrification. Gentrification fucking happens because niggas are lazy and niggas are irresponsible. Other people, like Obstacle said, other people know why the game is. It's right here. It's right there for you. Everybody got a fucking courthouse, bro, that has the foreclosure list on it. You can go down there and say, oh, shit, okay. Hey, this is a fucking a tax lien or foreclosure. Oh, all I got to do is $20,000, $50,000, whatever, right? Bro, you just get a fucking house, like I said, and you can, and then, get it remodeled or whatever, get it rebuilt. And like I say, now you can fucking refinance the house and you got equity just off of the maybe small details that you improve. But again, my bad, go ahead.
Well, just little things, right? Because we make that overarching statement, which is true. You have to also make sure people qualify to pull that equity, right? So if your credit score dropped to a 600, you ain't gonna be able to access that equity too. So it's a lot of things that we kind of leave out, but in a vacuum, Mr. Fantastic is right. But there are things that you have to also do to maintain and ensure that you're able to access the capital that you earned.
But Ham, so think about that, Ham. How hard is it, Ham? Like you said, once you understand what it is, we all go. Nobody's perfect. Let me say that. Everybody's gonna have financial woes at some point in time. Everybody's gonna buy some shit they shouldn't buy or whatever. But the problem issue with us is that's the way, right? You niggas out here getting these Hellcats and these whatever, and you know what I mean? You're not even making the money that the fucking Hellcat costs. Y'all niggas got a motherfucking thousand month motherfucking financing on a car that, you know what I'm saying, that the damn transmission gonna go out of in fucking 70,000 miles because you want to do donuts all the time. So the thing is, go ahead, Oscar.
Okay, go ahead.
Wait, what was so wrong with what I was saying? Because within that's because we went into their systems. We can all pretty much know that my grandma, y'all grandmas, our grandpa, they own their land. They bought houses. They was also not getting educated by white people. My daddy couldn't even go to segregated. He was in segregation. My daddy. So my whole thing, I feel how they was building with their own hands. My grandpa bought a house, and the more children my grandma had, he built more rooms as they were having kids because he owned that whole land. So my whole thing is, what's so wrong with me saying we need to get back to that? Because they go into the schools, they get in programs to just be workers.
Yeah, because Sherelle,
the school system is making them feel like they should make $25.
Affordability.
Yeah, but your kids didn't get educated before, so that's number one. And then two, that's okay. Go do that. I'm not saying don't do that. But what I'm also saying too is that these other vehicles that you can, that's a personal investment you're making, and it could pay off very handsomely. So cool, cut down on expenses, etc. The other play is where you see other people doing, you're like, look at them, they're really winning, is building these multi-units and etc. And so the only thing is, like, even my own family, we had a property handed down. I pulled it out of the safe. My grandma barely knew what it was. And then I asked everybody, hey, have y'all seen this? My sister, my brother, nobody ever read the deed. When I was reading it out loud, they got college degrees. They couldn't read the deed. And so for me, I didn't say, oh my gosh, the school system didn't show us this. All I did was YouTube and Google it and said, you know what? This is the only form of wealth my family has. And we don't know it, we could lose it. And so I was out here advocating this and advocating that. And I'm like, bro, I need to turn in and figure this stuff out. How am I advocating for people? I don't even know how to read a deed. So what does that make sense? I'm telling people, let's do this, let's do this. I can't read a deed myself. So again, after that happened, then I was able to help the family and get them over that.
So
But
why
of
are we
course
paying
they-
for our children to go to school for 12 years and they're not teaching them nothing? So what are they teaching them?
Well, they know how
Well-
to read and write for the most part.
Well, Sherelle, there's two things, right? So that's why I say we got to understand what we're saying here. So would you want to pay into the public school system? Because if you again, a part of this process, most likely is going to be what owning property, right? You know who pays some of the most into the school systems? Property owner. So now you have the people that we're telling come out here, buy houses, get homes, do the right thing, but at the same time pay for everybody else's kids to go to school, and you know what I mean, you homeschool your own or you send your own to private school. So now you're paying double versus just saying, okay, well, we have an issue and problem with the school system. Okay, elect better school board members or become more involved in the school system. Make sure that the teachers have the resources that they need. Make sure these fucking kids ain't out here putting hands on teachers and going to school for a fashion show and for gang initiations. Okay, that's an extreme. I'm not saying that's the majority of the situations, but I'm saying a lot of these schools, the work school systems are bad as they are because of the people that's being put into them. And it's not the kids' fault, it's the family fault. So like now it comes back to what the core reasoning is: the morality, the culture, and the way we approached it. Then you want to turn around and say the white man, the white man, the white man. Well, no, it's not. It's nothing about the white man. It's about the product that you're putting out to in the world, and you expect them to fucking just be a babysitter for 40 hours of the week. You know what I'm saying? Give you a break while you can go to work. We gotta turn this shit around. It's like the complete and total vision that we have for what black people are supposed to be and what the standard is. And that's Sherelle. That's why it's not gonna happen. The shit is hard for us to be able to do the shit that the other people got to do. We got to get rid of a lot of niggas. And I'm not saying delete them, but I'm saying they're gonna be left behind. You talking about?
I'm not just talking about niggas, because what I'm trying to tell you is like our children gonna have to go to school with niggas. Like they don't.
No, they don't. No, there will be a nigga school. Let the nigga kids that want to do nothing but fucking look good and fight and do all this other shit. Hey, let them go. There's always going to be a bad school. There's never going to be a school system where you don't have a bad school out of the system. Put all the bad motherfuckers over there. Let them be that. The problem we have too, man, is hey, some people are lost causes, man. Sorry, everybody can't be saved. That's in real life. That's in the Bible. That's in a comic book. That's in a movie. Everybody can't be saved, for real. And we keep look at reality in a fucking fantasy with a fantasy lens, man. I mean, it's gonna be people at the bottom, but most of those people that come out the motherfucking bottom, they stay there because that's where they're comfortable at. That's where they want to be. Coming out the bottom is fucking hard work. I mean, you did it right. I did it right. Why? Because shit, I know what it's like to motherfucking be poor. Can't afford them fucking OR, nigga, and I poor. And I don't ever want to have to go back to that shit. And I love my kids too much to have them go through the shit that I had to go through. So it's all personal accountability, determination about what you want to do. And like you said, hey, nigga shit gonna always be around, right? But you ain't gotta fucking participate in it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta use that as a crutch or an excuse as to why you can't be successful. And that's what a lot of people do. Listen, if you are over 30 years old, bro, government assistance, man or woman, listen, that's on you. Outside of just some major fucking, economic downfall or something crazy happened, right? That's on you. That's a choice. And we don't hold people accountable.
When you make it, so when you make it out and you look back and you look at what you made it from, you don't look at it and be like, man, them niggas is set up. It ain't even set up for niggas to survive.
No.
Like them niggas.
No, hell no. Why, Sherelle, how would I? Sherelle, how would I? When again, the way in doing it is so simple. It's so many avenues. It's so many fucking options to not be poor, to not be living in the hood, to not be, you know what I mean, what you were a product of. And you didn't have a choice. As a child, you always are victim to the parents you were born to in a situation, right? Victim of circumstance. It's on you to fucking determine whether you gonna stay with the shit or come up out of it. My shit is, and the reason why a lot of motherfuckers don't like me, I did the shit the same way everybody. You gotta get out here, you gotta work. Niggas on bootstrap. Everybody's a bootstrap. America in itself is bootstrap shit. But niggas hate it when you say, "Oh, pull yourself by your bootstrap." Well, motherfucker, how else you gonna do it? You don't want you niggas still waiting on reparations? Hold your breath. We talk about all this other shit that the white man, the government, all this other shit versus just getting out here and fucking doing it. It's not hard. It's not easy, but it's not hard. And if you can do all these different things, like I said, in a lifetime, in a lifespan, 30 years, man, that's 12 years of fucking adulthood. You ain't got shit figured out by now. Whatever you are about 30, that's pretty much gonna be about life. But if you say that, oh, you talking down, you did no, motherfucker. I'm like every other group of people. I tell y'all this all the time. White people, Asian people, Mexican people, whatever. You know what they call their pieces of shit? Pieces of shit.
Trailer trash.
White, I've never heard white trash more come out of whose mouth? Who you think
White
say
people.
white trash the most?
White
Thank
people.
you. Thank you. Easily. But and you know they don't want it. They don't make excuses for them. They don't want to fucking associate with them. They don't want them to be a representation of us. But for niggas though, real niggas. Yeah.
Now you know I don't have a problem with nothing you're saying. I'm not even disagreeing with options. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for financial literacy. What I can say is, if I decide to have children, I'm not sending my children to no damn school.
That's cool though. That's cool.
And
That's cool. I think you should take more.
In the process of getting compounds from my family.
No, I think when people do that, that's cool.
That'll be beneficial to practice group economics and put it in there. And I do not feel like, as somebody coming up, I didn't understand these things. Because I'm first generation to do so many things. I wish somebody would have told me this when I was younger.
But look, Sherelle. So listen, right? So that's another thing too. We not taking into account. How you gonna learn from people that don't know?
That's
you know what I did. You know what I did, Sherelle.
Wait,
My bad, go ahead.
Can I say something real?
You got.
Let
My
me
bad,
say
go ahead.
this too. Guys, it also too, you guys imagine that the world's greener on the other side. It's not. I told you 70% of the wealth is not passed through generation. Most people fail. So even the people who do have the information, like I'm a millionaire, and then I try to pass it on to my kids, 70% failure rate. So most of the families, it don't work. So even though you think like, man, they got the information over there because their family's financially literate. No, some kids, they don't even know nothing about finances, right? All the food is just there. They just live a life. They don't know how to manage money. Their parents might not teach them. That could be a thing, but it also could be entitlement. There's so many factors and variables. So, but the statistics show even the people with the money don't even get to pass it through. So you think like, damn, I'm disadvantaged. I took the mindset that said, bro, I know what it's not like, or I know what it's like not to eat. And I know that it's only up from here, and I know what I don't want. And since my mom had poor financial habits, I knew what not to do. I didn't know what to do, but I said, hey, I just don't do that. And then I should be all right. And then along the way, I picked up stuff thanks to YouTube, which I can't put on the previous generations. But now here, when we have the age of information, back then before, I don't know, my mom had to go to the library or something. I don't know. But now I got a smartphone. So I understand there's a difference between my great grandfather and my grandma, who maybe had to pick up the book in the library or ear hustle like in the movie The Banker, and then run when the banker found out that they was listening to the conversation. But now it's different. So this is why I'm saying, let's get it.
My grandfather was born in the 1920s. He was a millionaire, so, right? He just passed last year. So within that, he owns the majority of my neighborhood. This business, this property, these apartments, he owns that. You know what I'm saying?
So you the elite. You the 1%.
So within him telling us, like, I'm like, what happened to us? You know, him feeling like, man, white ice, niggas felt like white ice was colder. And once they bought into somebody else's system and somebody else's program, they stopped being self-sufficient and with doing what they needed to do for their own selves. So all I'm saying is, bro, instead of you putting 20 years into working at McDonald's, there's people I know that's been working at McDonald's for 20 years with no growth. Instead of you always continuously building into somebody else's system, why aren't you doing something to be self-sufficient for yourself? I can name 50 black restaurants. They don't believe in franchising. They don't believe in, why do we all need our own restaurant? Why can't we come up with a plan and then put this all over the globe, all over everywhere by actually practicing group economics? So I do feel like I make a difference in people's lives by being the first person to do something. I'm teaching little girls that's coming up after me not to have children out of wedlock. Nobody's told me that. I had a woman sit down and tell me to have a baby young, get Section 8, how many I need to have a child every 3 years so that I can make sure that I can get government assistance, and Medicaid will stop supporting you after the child is 4. And I'm telling this lady, like, if my daddy was hearing you tell me this, my daddy would probably slap me. And my daddy don't even hit me. But that's what little girls is growing up and people are telling them. Well,
damn, Sherelle. They said I was lying when I said that. They said I was lying when I was talking about.
I was around this place where it's like I used to do a lot of community activist shit, like when I was young. Y'all know I'm lame, but it's like a place where they help people do the lights. And the lady was like coaching all the women up in there. She's like, I have a baby every 3 months every 3 years because that's when you lose the Medicaid after this year. So when they turn 4, you have to have another baby. So my whole thing is, there's people being trained. They're going to need some counterfeits because I don't make it here without some.
But Sherelle, that's what he's saying though. So as long as do you think that? And just honest question, do you think that's still going on?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So Sherelle, that's the problem.
So what I'm saying, somebody has to be able to come in there and show these
no,
kids.
Sherelle, no,
different way.
No, Sherelle, no, you're Sherelle, and that's what I'm saying, love. That's where you fucking up at. You're gonna lose. You're fighting a losing battle, and you're focusing on something that's just not a good investment or time, knowledge, wisdom. We have a fucking Jesus Savior complex when it comes to the worst of us. Everybody not gonna make it, Sherelle. It's certain kids I see in the the shit that got fucking 2 buggies full of fucking food, right? Ain't not a vegetable in sight. You know what I'm saying? Everything got sugar in it.
I even tell girls, I'm like, stop feeding. Like I look at girls and I'm like, when I see their children with gold teeth, like y'all know,
not gold, silver, a mouthful of silver.
Water, you're feeding your child juice and let your child teeth rot.
Yeah, listen, Sherelle, thank you, Sherelle. More likely than not, love, if it's meant for them to make it, they gonna make it. You're never gonna override their household. That's not gonna happen. I don't give a fuck how profound you are, how right you are, how great you are as a person. 9 times out of 10, that grip and that hold, especially like you said, by the time we see them, they walking around and shit, and right? Cussing, fussing, all this shit, twerking, throwing gang signs. The little motherfucker can't read, but he can tell you motherfucking what said he claimed. You know what I'm saying? She can recite all the motherfucking Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion. Can't say ABCs, right? Sherelle, let her go, baby. It is what it is. She's a statistic. It's not her fault, and I'm not blaming. It seems cold, but that's the thing that men understand that fucking I guess women just don't, bruh. Some people are lost causes. Some people just not made to make it, and for us, we put too much focus on them versus the people that we need to. We need to be fucking nurturing and growing the greatness. The kids, the brilliance. You know again, to be a nerd is lame as shit for niggas. To be smart is lame as shit. You know how to enunciate properly and put in proper sentence structure. Oh, you trying to be white. So that's what we need to focus on, Sherelle. Fuck the ones that if they make it, they make it. But if we had more focus on the brilliant kids, man, boys and girls, but especially the fucking boys, you know what I'm saying, a rising tide lifts all boats, right? The opportunity that you will have because you start seeing these kids get the recognition and them get the money behind it, because that's the first thing niggas respect is money. Then you'll see shit start to change around. Because as of now, it's just sports and entertainers.
And then I know y'all was talking about that aspect, but also going back to the middle class. This is why I'm trying to scream up and down and say, hey guys, invest in the assets, invest in your financial literacy, because y'all already have some. Y'all haven't been working at McDonald's for 20 years, right? Y'all been working at jobs that probably match, or you're probably working mid-level, right? And you're like, hey, I'm getting crushed. And all I'm saying is, hey, let's go over your budget sheet. Hey, let me show you that I know you've done this, earned income for a long time, but at least let's redirect some of this capital to assets so it can give you a little good cushion of retirement at this age, 40. And look, I retired at 32. Obviously, I know what I'm doing. So I'm trying to give you the information to show you how that could happen. And so net, even that conversation I was just having about the low. Look, I'm talking to the middle class about this because y'all got the jobs and they've done pretty good. And what I'm saying is the old model, which you're operating on, is, hey, if I just work here, then the company got me and then I'm gonna retire. No. Now we got to do it ourselves and make our own portfolio. But the good thing about it is you have the internet, you have the device, and the cost is low like never before. So you could just you could buy Apple right now for $1. That was never a thing before the technology came in. So let me share this information. Listen, about 20 minutes out of a whole week. And over the year, you'll know what to do from there. Keeping it basic.
No,
I
understand. Me and
Super chat. Justin, been a member for 4 months, says the reason why Asians have higher incomes on average is because those are the ones plucked from those areas to work in high income careers. Opinionated reality with the $5 says the American people struggle with basic education. Adding college courses in grad school will do nothing. Tezzy with the $5 says, no. Being comfortable is having 50 to 70,000 saved in a bank and continuing to save money, so I'm not getting big net worth or taking risks. Crimson with a $10 says, I also do not like the they got it worse argument. Yes, poverty is defined differently elsewhere, but we're not over there. There's a line between gratitude for what you have and wanting better. My name is my name. My name is my name with the 20 boy. He says, congrats on the successful event, Hamp. Salute, my G. The community you've cultivated can only grow stronger.
Shit like that.
With that being said, let's leave all ignorant ass niggas in 2024.
Wow. Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
So solid with the 10 ounces. Hint to your comment about not giving a fuck about Thailand. You want it to be one way, but it's the other way. I don't understand. You miss me. Maybe it's an inside joke, but I can't remember. Corey Joe with the $2 says, what are you saying? On the
absolute opportunities.
Oh, okay. Keep preaching. Mr. Fantastic, keep teaching. Li with the $5 says, Mr. Fantastic, right on the money. Y'all emphasizing our productive locus of control and dismissing the system that gets predetermined outcome which Cali is conveying. Question.
Shit like that.
What has more weight? Our perceived control or people that forecast general outcomes? I'm saying the people that can forecast, I guess. Excuse me. EBD with the $5 says, that's exactly what MAGA is. The campaign is white people complaining Haitians, migrants, quote unquote, illegals are here violating and taking all the jobs, quote unquote. HQ with the $5 says, open the Sparta pit, Hamp. Orange man is done. Harris, well, I ain't see it. I ain't see it. They voting already, huh? What's it looking like? Son getting slid.
Huh? They got the results out. I hadn't seen it. I hadn't looked at none.
I don't think they start.
Me either.
They don't start reporting till like 5.
I think it's early.
Yeah, they're not even reporting yet. They're reporting now at cap.
Yeah, they don't start reporting till like 6.
It's 6 Eastern Standard.
Okay, that's what I think.
Man, if y'all want to have some money and not be broke, you better vote for Trump.
And you would say that.
If you want some money and not be broke, you better vote for Trump. This the
I would say this, and especially wait, let me say this real quick. Most people think I'll probably say something like that, but I'm not, just because I got the hat on. But vote for the way you want. You a free human. It's your right. I'm a combat veteran. I fought for everybody's right to do as they please. And you don't need to know 10 policies, 5 policies from Camille or Harris. That's not my requirement. You're American. You're free. Do what you want to do. Regardless if it's Trump or Harris, get financially literate. That's it. I don't give a damn who's in office. You got to do it for yourself also, primarily. So get it done regardless. And then I could pass the route.
You see the screen here?
You want to make money? Learn how to make money. You get it? And know how to make it multiply. Harris or Trump is not going to do it for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the first couple states hit, and it's only going to be like 3 or 4. We really ain't going to start seeing results till 7, 8 o'clock. That's when the results really going to start hitting. Because I think Georgia closes at 8. So, yeah.
Is Kanye West on the ballot? Vote for Kanye.
No, he not.
I'm voting.
Somebody up there, Aaron? Is it up there? Something up there?
Nah, nothing. You ain't gonna see nothing till about 7.
This is Associated Press so far saying no results. Nothing's in.
Okay.
What up, everybody?
Going on, Trey?
What's going on, Mike?
Ain't nothing. I think they extended Pennsylvania because some voting machines not working.
Yeah, I heard there's some difficulty.
That's out Harrisburg. That's Eastern PA. That's in the capital.
Harrisburg's more central.
Well, it's east from where I'm at. I'm in Western PA. I'm out by Butler, Pittsburgh, and all that shit.
Yeah, no. Way out.
You know, that's the battleground of all battlegrounds. Well, that's why I thought that was interesting.
What's up, Mike?
Ain't nothing, man. Y'all voted or what?
Yep.
Yeah, I voted.
That's what's up.
Nope, I'm
You know
going
what?
after work.
After work? What you doing right now? Get your ass up.
I'm at work.
Oh, okay. You know what? I do got a prediction, though. I ain't gonna lie. I don't feel the air of enthusiasm around this election, and the early voting is already kind of shown to be down.
I thought it was up.
No, early voting is down. It was breaking records in certain areas, but the total number of early vote is down by millions. So, you know what I think is going to happen? Because it's crazy. Like all the people I was asking, not really Cali, but I was asking because we get all this shame for saying that we voted Trump, meaning conservative men, especially. I think tonight when the numbers start to get broken down, we're going to realize a lot of people that shamed us didn't even vote for Kamala Harris. I think that's going to happen. We'll see.
A lot of people probably going independent on that Jill Stein. I haven't seen a lot of people say that party, so that's probably where the mix-up going to be. All the states that allow Jill Stein on, they probably going. That's some of them votes going that way.
Yep.
What's a feasible solution for middle class people who really can't go a month without a job? What's actually feasible? Like, what can people do to get out of that status quo? Actually,
they gotta use their job to fuel a skill. That's it. That's the only thing they can do. I really take notice of what's going on out here, and a lot of people are not looking outside of jobs to get skills because it all involves work. We have a very entitled bunch of Americans, and then now I see the new millionaires are not like .com people. They're not tech people. The new millionaires are the plumbers and the electricians because they function off the gig economy. I always tell y'all the story about how I needed an electrician because you remember, like, it wasn't Hurricane Harvey. No. We like that freeze. We had a freeze out here. And my pipes burst, a bunch of stuff burst. The next day, some Hispanic kid knocks on my door. Is like, if you have any power problems, I was like, you damn right I got any power problems. So while I was talking to him, he's a felon. He just got out of jail the year before. He showed up in a beat up ass Chevy with his baby mama and his baby in the car. I didn't need his services for a year and a half after that. The next time I saw dude, he showed up with a work van with his company emblem on the side, right? And he works off a thumbtack. He keeps all that money, right? So just doing jobs in this community all day long. Those are the new millionaires. So if you don't humble yourself to pick up a skill like plumbing, electrician, all that type of stuff, then you're not going to be a part of the new wave of people making money off the gig economy, because that's the new wave.
Yeah, no, I definitely I use Thumbtack. They take a decent amount, but I think the juice is worth the squeeze. I guess similar like YouTube, right? Because they click the technology is the marketing, is the platform.
Yeah, and you only need
So,
to use it once. I didn't use Thumbtack ever again. He gave me his number. I called him.
yeah, yeah. So we
Wait,
saying
what was the
trade.
original question?
Yeah, how does the middle class, right, that really can't go a month without that next paycheck, right, without kind of
Yeah.
falling short? What can they actually do? Like, what's a feasible solution?
Dave Ramsey. Like, that's somebody they can go listen to, because Dave Ramsey actually, unlike, people like me with doing investments and stuff, people aren't even at that point. Most Americans are in some type of deficit, right? And so Dave Ramsey really helped, and along with other people, so not only him, and I don't get paid by him or nothing, but he helps Americans deal with baby steps, dealing with their debt, getting that emergency fund first. So if they do lose their job, they got 6 months reserves and etc. So I think that following his program, and then a lot of people say, you know what, you're right, and they take on his behaviors. They switch their lifestyle in order to make the change that they want to see. So they do 2 years of misery to have 30 years of prosperity. And that's the trade-off that people have to do. But it's mostly budgeting. And then once you start with that, same thing you say the government should do is possibly the same thing you might need to do too.
I think
Better
y'all
budgeting.
y'all teaching method, I understand it, but it's not for the majority of people understand. So are
And
you
you know what?
saying opposite? Well, let me regurgitate it. I think that's
Go
my
ahead.
main skill. Essentially, you're saying live below their means for a couple years, so that they'll have means after that.
Well, whatever the strategy is, different people will give. Like Dave Ramsey, that's what he kind of preaches and teaches people, and he has a step program, and people follow it. But also, that's why I say, if you ever seen Financial Audit, that's a show that's popular. It's actually a little bit entertaining, and it's actually financial education. So I think like we're coming out with more media, more content to let people digest money and be, budgeting and investing in a more friendly way. I had a show called The Investment Audit, where I talk to people like just one-on-one, not about charts and all this crazy nonsense, but just a regular conversation that I wish somebody had to me around investments. So more content, more creation, more education, it would populate the airways. And just like you know how to twerk, you'll learn how to save.
Yeah. Can I add something too to that?
I think twerking is more innate.
They're teaching them how to twerk
And
at too.
eating the rations ain't.
Yeah, no.
Before
it's
they was
not,
twerking, there
man.
was people trying to figure out how to hunt.
Like balancing the
You
check.
can't twerk without no hunting.
Balancing
Go
the
ahead.
checkbook is often taught. So I'm just trying to figure out, right?
Yeah.
I think oftentimes on the internet we get a lot of do this, do that, do this, just do that. That's a big issue that I had with the manosphere when I initially came on the YouTube, is that it's all about just do what I did. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be successful. Or just go to the gym. But these niggas don't know how to lift weights for real.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to hold on, Mike. I know you're trying to talk while I'm talking. Just give me a second.
That was great.
So like this right here, like I know how to lift to play football. I don't know how to lift to be in shape, right? But I know how to lift to blow a nigga out of his sneakers. But that's not sustainable, But we just always telling the nigga, just go to the gym. Now they going to Planet Fitness on Tuesdays because they serve pizza. You know what I'm saying? Like I just
They
think
got
that we have
donuts in the morning.
word.
Well, they in the gym too. So again, you get people into raw action. So people are in the gym,
but
and
it's
then they
not
meet the next
functional.
person, and he like, "What you doing, bro?" And he like, "Well, I found this from YouTube." And he's like, "Nah, that's not how you do it. Let me show you
Yeah.
how to bench
But
right." And then you over
That's
time you
not
collect
so.
information.
Let me just tell you, that's not what actually happens, right? They all going to Planet Fitness. They're all amateur and novice at Planet Fitness, but they go to Planet Fitness because it's a comfortable environment for people that don't know. So now it's just surrounded by people that don't know. So like, what
everybody
can
in the
we
Planet Fitness
actually?
are bums.
What can we instill and give people that's tangible that they can take away?
So
No excuses, Mr. Clark. No excuses. Most people don't have financial literacy, honestly, because they don't want to be fucking financially literate. Like, if you want to find bad bitch shaking her ass. Nigga, you can name me 10 websites off the top of your motherfucking head where I can find these hoes bouncing their ass at. Most motherfuckers is not literate or financially literate. It ain't because it's not out there, because the information is out there. Motherfuckers is just not looking to find it. And you can't make excuses. You can't
It's
have
more. It's more of the same, though. It's more of the same. It's a nothing burger. We already understand that what niggas is not doing. So let me give you guys an example, right? Let's say I was saying, okay, you got a little bit of overage money left over after you pay your bills, right? You probably want to stop spending on things that don't help you. I would recommend people start to pay off debts that they can afford to pay off, the things that accrue too much interest, because you're saving money, but that makes no sense if you have a 26% interest rate on a credit card. Get rid of that credit card before you start putting money to the side.
Exactly.
Because the truth is that money to the side ain't your money.
Yeah.
You see,
Exactly,
so now
but
that's
what
something
you're
tangible
asking
where, well, hold on, let me finish before y'all run my
Go
shit
ahead.
over, because I gave y'all an opportunity to teach something and nobody said nothing. So now, right? So now they say, okay, all right, boom, I could do that, Hamp. I got an extra $200, right? That I can get towards getting that balance a little bit lower, right? Like, what's something tangible to start to free people money up for real?
Yeah, I got the
y'all,
biggest.
because hold on, Mike, hold on, I'm windmilling right now. So now, Obstacles knows more than me. Trigger Mike knows more than me. Aaron knows more than me. I love Izzy. I don't think he knows more than me. Kenny knows more than me. So what I'm saying is, let's give each other something, because I'm learning. I can, like, when you use all them big words and Aaron and Trigger Mike, I can grasp that shit. But I don't know if we give intangible things that people can walk away right now without going to I don't even know Ramsey. Is he a white boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, without going to the white
Dave
boy.
Ramsey. Yeah.
Like I'm just trying to understand, like, what can people tangibly take away?
Yeah.
It's penny stocks
Right.
out here.
Cut down on.
Nah. So somebody said it a little bit, but when somebody said nobody wants to do that, he's right. That's what I was having this discussion with my wife, where she's like, well, people need this and people need that, and I stopped her and I was like, people don't want to work that hard. So the average American or person, let's figure out what they can do. Stop worrying about the money you make. Start worrying about the money you keep. Hamp said, how do we get people to keep more of their money? We have an entitled bunch of people in this country to believe they're supposed to be entitled to enough money to live alone. Do not leave out of your parents' house. That is your number one expense. That is the biggest expense any of us have right now. My mortgage, $3,000. If I get rid of that shit, oh God. Like I can start 3 businesses in a week if I get rid of my mortgage. I'm not gonna do it, but you see what I'm saying? So y'all better go to a grandma, a mom, an uncle, and be like, look, I need help. And what do you mean by that? I'll clean the house, I'll cut the grass, I'll do this. I need a little bit of lodging so I can save up for my hot dog cart. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do that on the weekends to get extra bread, because I'm gonna take that expense out. You know what I mean? That's the one thing everybody can do. We all think that we're entitled to live alone in our own space, when most of us weren't even kicked out the house to begin with. That was the first mistake. Whether you gotta live with your sister, live with your cousin that you cool with, everybody should
Roommate,
be considering
etc.
splitting bills. It's not that serious. And the worst part about it is that when we go out trying to search for that independence, we end up making situations that put us in a worse financial position. You get pregnant, or you get a girl pregnant.
So a roommate isn't.
There we go. No, but it just
roommate-
happened, Mike. It just happened. That's life, you know? That's what people would rather take. They'll take that path, like, oh, it just happened. How you going to tell me that? So now you're controlling a little bit. You know, you're a financial advisor. Now you're telling me when to have babies or not. And they don't understand it all relates to each other because the baby costs money. So again, I'll go back. Biggest expenses is accommodation and taxation. So housing, and then followed by taxes. And so when you focus on your housing, like you said, splitting the bills, staying in your parents' house, I talk about house hacking all the time, you know, get a duplex, a triplex, or a quad and stuff like this. Once you do that, that reduces your largest expense. And so you got to do it like that. And then you reduce that. So I'm not telling you stop going to Starbucks. It's $2 over here. You need to stop spending that. Maybe it's not that, but some other financial people will tell you that. So again, like you say, give me a solution for everybody. Everybody digests its information differently. Like some people want kitty gloves, somebody want a Kevin Samuels deliver, and somebody want a hard deliver like I do. So
I got
we
you.
all
I got
don't
you.
get the
But
message.
see,
But
here's
save,
my,
like he said.
but this is the listening though, right? So as an example, go get a duplex. It's slightly unrealistic considering if that duplex doesn't have a renter in it, you have to justify and have the call. What is it? What's the income disparity?
Bro, yes, cash flow. You got to have a
No,
surplus.
but
Operating
what's the word I'm
income.
looking for? Your debt to
Debt
income ratio.
Debt to income
Your
ratio.
debt to
DTI,
income ratio
DTI.
got to be
What
able
about
to
it?
cover 2 houses essentially.
But
If that doesn't
did you
have a
know
renter in it.
DTI? But you know when you have this is what I'm saying. If you go single family, it's harder to get approved. If you get with a rental with a duplex, triplex, and quad, you qualify for more because the rentals can be applied to your DTI. See, I
If
can
you
break
qualify,
it down.
I know, but see, this is why,
watch this.
and that's the
I can
thing.
point out
Hold
the
on,
branch that you
obstacles.
qualify
Now
with a
here's
little-
one thing I'm noticing
Okay, go
now.
ahead.
Once you
Go
start
ahead,
to get a little bit overmatched, you start to try to overrun. It's me though. So now
No, go ahead.
you have to actually qualify and have that amount of debt to income ratio. Otherwise, you got to carry those mortgages for those houses if there's no renter actually existing.
Yes, and so what I'm. This is good because now we get into the details.
Yeah,
So you
because we
said
just saying shit. Because here's why I'm challenging.
buy the property
Because we
with
just
the
saying
rental,
stuff
with the leases.
Hold on. This is the reason why I'm doing this. Is because we just say the shit and we simplify it to the point like it's so easy. Like there are nuances to these duplexes and quad and all that. So we got to
there's
understand it.
nuances. Yeah.
So what's an actual what's an actual remedy? Go ahead.
A remedy to all of this
somebody
is
else go.
right now the conversation has been about promoting different tactics. I think you're ahead of the game. We got to promote strategy. People have to understand how money works. They have to understand leveraging and its purposes. They have to understand what an asset is, what a liability is, what an investment is, the difference between an appreciating asset and a depreciating asset. They need to know the fundamentals, and then they need to understand strategy. That way they can apply the strategy to any of the fundamentals as it best fits whatever is going on in their world, whatever the resources they have to deal with, whatever the markets that they're operating in. We can all sit here and suggest all of these different tactics and go on these different routes because they've worked for us. But like Ham keeps saying, it's easy to shoot these things down if you just change one of the variables. Like Ham said, you have to be able to qualify for that, right? And if there's someone that doesn't qualify for that, and that renders that advice mute until they make the changes necessary to become qualified for it. There's so many nuances, right, that have to be addressed over, and people. That's exactly what will take people right off the wagon. Is the nuance creating the difference between what you're saying should happen and what they're actually able to make happen. When we can really just arm them with fundamental knowledge of the knowledge of fundamentals, what these things actually mean and do, and then give them different strategies and let them find for their own, that will stimulate the desire to go do research to see how we can actually apply these things. But people, you're using words like investment and liability, and people can't even tell you the difference. Ask someone if you're gonna go down the road of real estate with someone, they don't even understand 2 words: first position. Who's in first position when it comes to the government? Taxes come first, even over the principal holder. If the bank is always in second position to the government. People, when you go into the real estate conversation, they're not understanding what position even means, let alone who's standing in that position.
And I get what you're asking for him, but the only thing I'm really just trying to articulate, and kind of just like what he just said, it's a mixed bag. And some people start with the fundamentals, and I got over 2,000 YouTube videos. I go over the fundamentals. You get me? So, and then other people do too, and Google and Chat GPT. So we're all out here just curating content and information, right? And everybody's going to say, you know what? I don't like obstacles, opportunity way about it. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to Aaron. And then that's good. I don't care. I don't mind. Then there's people who are with me who are buying those properties, right? And I'm taking them through the nuances that you were talking about.
Okay.
He was like, dang. So there we go. See, and we're just curating it.
Okay, you know what I liken it
Because
to?
the school system don't do it. Go ahead.
No, I got you. You know what I liken it to? I have a similar disposition coaching football, which football makes sense to every facet of life. So I can't coach the 6-year-olds. Fuck them kids, bro. Them non-listening, I can't stand them motherfuckers. But when they get to about 12, 13, you know, like they can really start to play and they got real damage and collision. And I'm like, okay, so you can really knock somebody. Now I can coach that level because now you at the point of my how I can properly convey a message. And then even more so high school, obviously. So
Yeah.
I catch your drift. I understand it.
Yeah, I should leave it there, but let me just try to
Touche,
see
I
if
should
this
say.
would work.
Yeah.
I should leave it there, but let me see if this one works. It's kind of like I worked in the government for many years.
Yeah.
And so I understood that if you go to the citizens, everybody don't want to fight, right? Everybody like, damn that, or I don't believe in violence or whatever. So the government's like, cool. You know, those people who want to go to the army will sign up and go, right? But we have another thing called the Peace Corps. And those who want to establish peace and want to go about helping the world and doing something bigger than themselves, they'll go that route. So they don't try to convince the people who want to go to the Peace Corps, why don't you pick up this gun and go over to Iraq? It ain't going to work. They'll just say, hey, you probably should go talk to the Peace Corps guys. And then in those two institutions, you get people serving a grander cause, serving the nation, but they want different things. You see what I'm saying?
And it doesn't lower the value of either.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point.
You know, to him. Remember
Amp,
what I said?
You said you wanted simplicity. Sit down, know what your assets and liabilities are. Live below your means. Sit down and understand that mutual funds, how the rich people really accrue money besides realty, make their money. Learn about how that works and how it's not guaranteed, but it's mostly secure. Then put your money in something and watch it grow. Don't leave your money sitting in checkings and saving. Understand your financial position. Be comfortable with where you are, knowing that growth is coming. We have a big problem spending. We have a very big problem of spending. We spend what we don't have, then we live in debt. And that's like an addiction. You can watch the same people across the aisle from us. They don't have, they'll sit on their money, put it in the right things, watch it grow, then slow and steady win the game. We want all of ours now. How many people got money, that stimmy money? Up here in New York, there was in City Island, eating shrimp and lobster, steak and crab every day. Then when they got broke, stores had to get boarded up. You know why? That showed me a hope.
Well, question. The mutual fund thing doesn't resonate with me. But maybe I misunderstand it. Maybe I misunderstand it though.
Okay. That is a cornerstone of how money has been grown over time.
Wait, okay.
Yeah.
What's the time on that though?
No,
okay.
It takes forever. It takes forever.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you're averaging, you want a quick fix? You want to make $1 million overnight, or learn the proper finance?
Yes, but
you want to? Oh, can't say that.
I'm just saying because the mutual fund. I'm like, every time you say mutual fund, I can see molasses.
You can see molasses.
Like, is my notion off?
Okay, your notion isn't off. But most people aren't patient. Like I said, they want it now. Some will play the options market. Some will play crypto. Some will play hedging their money on certain things. High risk, high reward. People that you pointed out living paycheck to paycheck can't afford to play those games and lose everything.
Oh, there you go, Kenny. So let me add this to what he said. So,
Kenny, and by the way, I'm teaching how to use words. Like, for instance, Mike, just real quick. You know how people like, but I digress.
Yeah.
But you're not switching the conversation or the subject. Why are you digressing? Right. And touche means Kenny said something adverse to what I said. So he proved me wrong, which is why I use touche.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because I agree with a point that's different from mine. So just a little grammar and shit like that. You know, I'm from Connect, so we learn how to talk. So go ahead.
So Kenny, not only was Kenny right about all that stuff, you know what I noticed about the people who have the ability to focus on index funds, mutual funds, Roth IRAs. Before you can fix any of this stuff, we got to putting the cart before the horse if we don't fix the family dynamic. it all depends on disposable income. The
Right.
people who have disposable income come from very insulated family structures. When you buy a house, and we talked about real estate and all this type of stuff, when somebody buys a house, the two ways the down payment of a house is financed without FHA is sale of another house, which your parents can do for you, or a cash gift. Where the hell you getting a cash gift from? Your parents. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, look, man, I know everybody's trying to be an individual. You're going to be broke for life. Most people are not the talented tenth of people that could do what Obstacles is doing, that could do what Kenny's doing, or Hamp is doing, or what I'm doing, or Izzy's doing. Most people are not those people. So you need to be integrated into a system where you benefit the system so the system can benefit you. I tell you right now, if you a dude on child support with 2 kids, you ain't doing none of this shit. You ain't got no disposable income. You see what I'm saying? So you should have married your baby mama so you could keep your money in the house, right? So those are little things that we need to understand, that keeping your life in order and in a formal structure benefits you in the long term. Because if your money going out the door to the government, taxes, I know, dude, look, it's trifling. I know a dude that quit a job as soon as the child support hit. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
I got a question. Good that you say that, because when Kenny got started, the first thing he suggested was live below your means, and that's what I'm talking about. We haven't even established what the means are and how far below we should live, right, in order to be successful. And so, therefore, everything said after that is kind of out the window. There's no way to really apply it, or for the individual to apply it with any confidence. And even if they do, you're setting them up for the potential to fail, because they might misinterpret what their means are and what it means to live below it. A lot of people don't associate the means, including preparation for retirement. So take that out of the picture. Your means should include putting away of money specifically dedicated to preparations for what happens after you no longer make money. That's within your means. And how far below? 10%, 5%, 20%, 40%. These things make a difference. But we didn't establish that. We just said live below your means, do that, and then the next step is you're already done.
So there's a formula called 50-30-20. And that's usually one people follow by.
Let me reply to that. I gave the soup and nuts of it. When you start doing your assets and liabilities, I didn't say the part because I wanted to condense it, as Hamp would say. As for the 3 types of savings that you would have: liquid, which you can touch, 3 to 6 months of savings; intermediate, house, car; long-term retirement, which you don't touch. That's supposed to be your next egg, so you don't have to return to work like most of these older people that you're seeing working at Home Depot and these places. How do I know? Because I eat my own cooking. So I'm going to show you exactly what I did, where my mistakes was, and you're going to lie. You might not be at my financial position, but you got to start somewhere. You understand? So let's get the math out the way. Now, I challenge you, because most people don't see what they're doing daily. Average person spends $10 a day on bullshit. If they look at the money toward what they can put it in, and you show them, most people, they don't listen to most people talking. If you actually write it down and show them, they're more perceptive to the information being given. Then they validate you. Then you validate them and show them, look, I just don't talk. I'm actually invested, bro. You understand? And this is how that rising tide lifts every boat. You might want your million. In closing, you might want your million to tomorrow. Where you're at is not going to happen. But how about start something rather than do nothing?
That's more of what I'm talking about, though. You end up.
I got you, Aaron. I just wanted to put more meat on it. Yeah.
I hear you, but that's what I'm saying. It's more important to speak about the very ground floor level of information needed, because that'll help people learn the lingo. That'll help condition people to have the conversation as the conversation progresses, right? What I'm saying is we don't want to speak over people's heads. When you said, the first thing we should do is live below our means, mine that out completely, because then you get to change things in the conversation that affect people's lives directly, and then they can attach, the way they perceive things is influencing things that they're directly correlated to. Once you go into a land where people don't know anything how it exists, now you're speaking above them. They lose that information. Adjust the pieces on the board that they know what those pieces do. And they'll learn from there.
Let me jump in real quick. So one way, what Obstacle was talking about with Dave Ramsey, he talked about creating a zero-based budget.
I don't want to hear about Dave Ramsey. Why don't you tell me what you did?
I've done it too. All right. So in
Yeah.
2012,
What do you
Dave
suggest
Ramsey.
based on?
All right.
What do you suggest based on what you learned and
All right,
what you apply?
So go through your bank account, your bank statement, what you spend in a month.
Yeah.
How much money you make versus what you spend, and then actually go through everything. You'll know if what you spent was necessary. Like you said, we spend $10, $12, how much ever on BS. Go through the whole month, everything you bought it, look at it. Did I need that? Was it necessary? Was it an impulse buy? So once you see that, where could that money have actually gone to otherwise? And another place that we need to look into is what percentage of our bills are actually coming out of our income. So if you bought a Hellcat and you know what I'm saying, half of your income is going into your Hellcat, you might be living paycheck to paycheck, you might be comfortable, but you can go lower in your means. You don't need to spend 50% of your income on a car. You don't need to spend 50% of your income on shopping to feel good, feel good shopping or eating out. We actually have to go through what are you really spending your money on? Where is it going? And if you can sell that Hellcat and get a Dodge Neon or something, then do that. But you actually have to look at what are you spending your money on, because a lot of people don't know. We swipe our card and we keep it moving. As long as there's money in the account, I'm good. But what is actually like your net